you hear me right now?
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Scott Souza here along with Bob Goudreau from Worcester Polytechnical Institute, where this afternoon the North Middlesex Patriots will be taking on the Fitchburg Red Raiders in the Division I Central Massachusetts Super Bowl. This is I believe it's the 4th consecutive year that North Middlesex has faced Fitchburg in the Central Massachusetts Super Bowl. North Middlesex going for their 3rd straight victory, and this season North Middlesex has done very little wrong, Bob.
You're right. North Middlesex is going to this game at 10-0, and in the whole season they really didn't run up to any opposition except maybe a hot Leominster club for a half 2 or 3 weeks ago. But today's a different story. It's a playoff game. Fitchburg is healthy. They've got a good squad. They've lost it to 2 out of 3 of the top teams in the state. So North Middlesex really has to be on the ball today.
Fitchburg needed to win last week against Leominster on Thanksgiving Day in order to get into this game. They defeated Leominster resoundingly by a score of 38-14. North Middlesex enters this game with a record of 10-0. They had the big victory over Brockton in the opening game of the season, 14-7. And also these two teams have met during the regular season, as they do every year. North Middlesex won that game resoundingly by a score of 35-7. Fitchburg's other 2 losses have come to the Eastern Mass powerhouses New Bedford, who is playing for the Division I Eastern Mass Super Bowl this afternoon. Fitchburg lost that game 42-8. And Fitchburg was also defeated by Brockton by a score of 42-7 later on in the season. North Middlesex has won the toss but is elected to receive in the second half, and they will be kicking off to the Fitchburg Red Raiders. The kick is a low kick, and we're underway here in the artificial turf. The ball is bobbled momentarily, picked up at the 23-yard line, taken out across the 25 to the 27-yard line by number 44, John Roger, the freshman tailback.
Well, that was a low kick. He's known for that, keeping it low and trying to prevent a run back when you have those speedy backs from Fitchburg back there. Well, now we're ready to go. It's going to be the first play, Scott, so another season.
North Middlesex going for their 3rd consecutive Division I Central Mass Super Bowl title. This is the 6th consecutive year that they have been involved in a Central Mass Super Bowl game. Fitchburg sets up with the I formation, wide receiver in motion to the left side. The handoff on first down is taken out to the 28-yard line, a gain of 2.
Carried by Yarborough.
Carry that time by the freshman tailback, Lawrence Yarborough. Lawrence is the younger brother of the senior Clarence Yarborough, who's the captain and wide receiver of this team. The quarterback is Todd Stephanides. He will throw on occasion, but he's a very effective runner.
I think Fitchburg is going to have a heck of a job going through the North Middlesex line. They're going to have to rely on their speed. The North Middlesex really have to be in the ball.
It was a line that really dominated Fitchburg in the game that I saw earlier this season. The pitch out goes to the right side on second down. It is taken out to the 31-yard line.
It looks like Fitchburg really has to go with their strength. They're going to have to go to the passing game. Stefanidi is one of the finest passers in Central Mass. So quite frankly, you got to go with your strength. They're not going to run against North Middlesex. They can set up traps all day, but they're not going to get any yardage out of them. They definitely have to go with the strength.
When Stephanides does throw, he has 2 of the top receivers in Central Massachusetts, and James McCall and Clarence Yarborough to throw to. Once again, the I formation now on 3rd down and 7. North Middlesex with a 4-man line, 3 linebackers set up just behind. On 3rd down, Stephanides will throw. He's under pressure. He's going to run for it to the right side. He's got a little bit of room, and he's across the 40 out to the 47-yard line on a first down. So as we mentioned before, Stephanides a very effective runner, and that time he showed his speed.
Yeah, Stephanides got outside. The end and stay home. The safety was back. They're worried about the pass play. And this is what does it. When Fitchburg, they're a real threat in the passing game, and that opens up the running game to a certain extent, and that was an example right there.
Jesse Auburn was applying pressure from the backside right, but was unable to track down Stephanides, and Fitchburg will have the ball 1st down and 10 from their own 46-yard line. We're just underway here in the first quarter from WPI Field here in Worcester. Fitchburg and North Middlesex, no score here in the Division I Central Mass Super Bowl. The handoff goes to the fullback, and that's Greg Graham, who took it for a gain of 2.
Yeah, Graham is one of their power runners, Graham, number 44. And, of course, they're not going to move Mike Piper off of there. They're going to really have to run counters and so forth and pass plays. That line's too tough out there. But like last year, Fitchburg moved the ball in the first 2 or 3 series, and they dominated. It could look like it's going to be headed that way, Scott.
Second down and 8 now for the Red Raiders, just shy of midfield. North Middlesex jumps. There's a penalty flag down. The handoff is taken around the right side. No, it is pitched around the right side and out of bounds at the 46-yard line. But there'll be penalty flags all over the place on that play. North Middlesex definitely jumped off sides. And Fitchburg will probably get the 5-yard penalty here. It'll set up a second down and 3 situation with 8:42 left here in the first quarter.
Offsides on North Middlesex.
And it is offsides against the Patriots.
Now, of course, North Middlesex this year, they did the same thing in a Brockton game. In a big game, they get a little overexcited and they anticipate too much and they jump offside. There's a lot of movement. But that's because of the aggressiveness that the North Middlesex line has. So we'll see what happens. That pitch out, it was a good pitch out, but North Middlesex covered it pretty well.
Pittsburgh has accepted the penalty.
North Middlesex doesn't have a big line, so Bob, you're right. Their key is they have to make that quick first move and get around the defensive linemen. They did that against Brockton. I also saw them do that very effectively against St. John's of Shrewsbury early this year, although they did have offsides penalties. That time the handoff is taken up the middle across the 45 down to the 43-yard line. That'll be a first down for Greg Graham. He's a senior fullback, 5'11", 200 pounds.
That was a good carry. The second effort got him that first down, but I think you're going to watch right here. It's going to be it'll be a first down. I think Fitchburg will come out right over the top. I don't think they're going to run it. They're going to come right over the top, try to burn them on a cross slant pass. You look for that. I think the next series are going to do that.
We're going to be measuring for the first down, so they're not conceding anything, but Fitchburg will have it. It'll be first down and 10. Just shy of the 43-yard line of the North Middlesex Patriots. We have 8 minutes, 28 seconds to go here in the first quarter. North Middlesex has won this game the past 2 years, and North Middlesex's first game in Central Massachusetts back in 1991 Super Bowl, they were defeated by Fitchburg by a score of 22-7. The previous 2 years, North Middlesex won the Central Massachusetts Division II Super Bowl. Once again, the I formation for Fitchburg on first down and 10, the fullback and the tailback, with the 2 wideouts, 1 split to each side. Offsides again on North Middlesex. The ball is kept by Stephanides. He has a free play here, and he takes it down to the 30-yard line. If the penalty was against North Middlesex, in which it appeared to be, he will have a 13-yard gain. So right now, Fitchburg, it appears that they will try to exploit the anxiousness of the Patriots.
Penalty is refused. First down, Fitchburg.
Yeah, it looked, obviously it was an offside, and North Middlesex just had to watch it. They did pick up some yardage, but the whole motion in North Middlesex stopped. Matt Albin went over there and everybody stopped, so he really didn't pick any tough yards on his own. It was more or less given to him.
Fitchburg's most effective play in the opening minutes has been the quarterback bootleg. First down and 10 from the 30-yard line of the Patriots. They set up with 5 linemen. This time, the pitch out goes to the right, across the 30, inside the 25, down to the 22-yard line and out of bounds is number 32, Lawrence Yarborough.
That was a good move. Yarborough really went to the right. He did a nice job. He kept to the right. I think North Middlesex is going to have to bring up those safeties a little more. They're playing a little, I think what they're doing, they're afraid of the pass, and they're playing a little too tight. If they bring up the safety, they can cut that pitch off out very easy.
They came up just short of the first down. It'll be second down and 1 from the 21-yard line of the North Middlesex Patriots. Fitchburg moving the ball very well here in the opening moments of this game.
I think you look for Graham to blast off tackle.
Graham is the fullback once again, and he takes the ball forward across the 15-yard line to the 13-yard line. Nice call there, Bob, as he gains 8 yards.
Yeah, it's very simple. You can see what they're going to try to do is they're going to work between the guards and the end position on their running plays. They're going to use a lot of motions and pitch outs, and I think they're going to come back with a quick pass over the middle.
The ball is on the 14-yard line.
Fitchburg has yet to pass in this football game. They have the ball first down and 10 at the 14-yard line of North Middlesex. They have effectively used the off-tackle runs up the middle to set out the pitch outs. The handoff, no, it's kept by the quarterback Stephanides, and he's dragged down from behind at the 12-yard line, a gain of 2.
Yeah, that was a good move by Stephanides, but as you can see, North Middlesex now is going to come up and pinch in a little. They're not going to give away like they did in that first 2 series. The North Middlesex is going to make the adjustment, Scott.
Second down and 8 for the Fitchburg Red Raiders. 6 minutes and 45 seconds remain here in the first quarter. Once again, the I formation. quarterback back to throw for the first time in this game. It's complete inside the 5-yard line, down to the 1-yard line, and he is probably going to be just short of the end zone. He was out of bounds, and they are going to mark the ball back at the
3-yard line.
They're going to mark it back at the 3-yard line. So, Bob, you predicted that they were going to come up with a quick pass, and they've done it. They did it one play later, but they have used the quick pass coming off of that fullback draw play, setting up each other, as you mentioned they might do.
Yeah, it's quite obvious. That's where their strength is. And, of course, right now they're in a 4-down situation. They're going to run between the tackles. There's no way they're going to throw that ball in there. The only way they can get it back is they got to really submarine that center and possibly the quarterback. Let's see what happens.
It's first down and goal for Fitchburg. And this time the handoff is taken at the 7-yard line and knocked down from behind at the 7-yard line. Mike Piper with a tackle.
Like I said, they're really going to move in on him, and they're going to pinch him in. Fitchburg is not going to run inside that line. There's no question about it. Fitchburg is going to have to get a little fancy outside, a little pass. They're not going to beat that middle.
Well, now it's second down and 6. We have 5 minutes and 53 seconds to go here in the first quarter. No score. Fitchburg's had the ball the entire game.
Watch the pitch out to the left over here or a fake. You watch it.
We'll have to see. Stefanidis is going to throw. He throws a dangerous pass to the middle of the field, and it's knocked away by Jeff Whalen, number 82. Jeff Whalen, indeed. And now it brings up a third down situation at 5:38 to go here in the first quarter.
Of course, you can see that pass. He had 2 men on him, and he threw right into it. It was a very bad decision, but let's see what happens right here. I think what they're going to do is they're going to probably try to run a sweep around this side as some type of option.
Third down and goal to go from the 6-yard line for Fitchburg. They set up with 2 wideouts, each to the left side. One of the left side slot goes in motion to the right. One to the far side left. The I-formation backfield. North Middlesex may have moved once again. The quarterback keeps it. Stefanidis on the keeper, and he's knocked down at the 2-yard line. Piper got him from behind, but Fitchburg's going to get a free play out of that because North Middlesex moved once again.
Here again, I think I told you, they're going to try to run on the outside. They're going to pinch between the inside. They're not going to get through that center over there. They'll obviously take the penalty and pick up another down on it. And, of course, don't forget, they got a great kicker in DeVito. He's a good field goal kicker. He's got a tremendous leg, so they shouldn't really go down here empty.
Offsides on North Middlesex and illegal motion against Fitchburg. Penalties offset, replay the down.
Offsetting penalties as both teams moved. An unusual situation. Usually one team moves first, but in this situation, they have judged that both teams have moved. North Middlesex, their third illegal procedure penalty on this opening drive of the Fitchburg Raiders. They had a similar problem against St. John's in that game, as they made a number of procedure penalties in the early moments of that game, recovered nicely, won easily 41-14. It is now third down and goal to go from the 6-yard line once again.
Again, I think what you're going to see what's happening here is going to be a pass or it's going to be a wide run. Just watch it.
Split backfield now. Stefanidis to pass, looking end zone. He fires to the corner, and it is going to be incomplete. Well overthrown to the corner. The intended receiver was Clarence Yarborough, covered well by Jeff Whalen, and Stefanidis didn't have any other choice but to overthrow it. And now there's the opportunity to go for either a 4th and goal from the 6 situation or attempt a 23-yard field goal.
And, of course, DeVito's really got a leg on him. The only way you got to pressure him, you got to send 2 men up the middle and really throw him off a little. But this is an excellent kicker, probably one of the better kickers in the Central Mass. But, again, it shows you the sign of North Middlesex strength. They come away with only 3 points. That's bad for Fitchburg because as the game goes on, North Middlesex gets stronger and stronger.
North Middlesex trying to hold the Red Raiders to a field goal. Anthony DeVito is the kicker. It's a good snap. The kick is up. It is going to be off to the right-hand side, so North Middlesex dodges a bullet here in the opening drive of this football game. Fitchburg got the ball, moved it well, got all the way down as close as the 3-yard line of the Patriots, but they force them into a 23-yard field goal situation, and DeVito misses. And now North Middlesex has the ball with 4 minutes and 59 seconds to go here in the first quarter, and there's still no score.
And now what you're going to see in Central Mass, probably one of the finest offensive teams going. There's no question about it. North Middlesex has a little laxes, but Ruggles is the best quarterback in the league. He's got some great running backs with him. And, of course, they're going to have a problem containing this team.
North Middlesex scored 35 points against Fitchburg in their other meeting this season. And they have the ball first down and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Of course, the wishbone formation. Patriots have had this for many, many years. Ruggles has run it splendidly here as the quarterback this season. The handoff on first down is taken out to about the 24-yard line, a gain of 4.
And Matt Dawson carried that out. It's probably the hardest running back around. Everyone knows he has a bad wrist, so I think you're going to watch. Fitchburg is going to be surprised heavily today. I think that the coach is going to come out with a lot of passes. They're going to kill him over that center. They're over-aggressive. Fitchburg seems to move in too quick. They're going to burn him with Murphy and so forth. Watch.
That'll bring up a 2nd down and 6 situation. 2nd down and 6 from their own 24-yard line. Once again, the wishbone formation. Pitch goes out to the left side and taken down at the 23-yard line from behind. I believe that was Jason O'Loughlin around the left side.
Yeah, Schneider made a nice tackle out there. It was an arm tackle, but one more wrench, there would have been a good, 15-yard gainer. But it was a nice grab by him.
Now it's 3rd and 5 for the Patriots. Checking into the game is number 11, Luke Babbitt.
Now, Luke Babbitt, he runs a beautiful option in this play. You watch him. He cuts across maybe 10 yards down the field. So let's see what happens.
Tight end's real wide.
The handoff, no, the pitch on 3rd down is off to the right side. O'Loughlin is dragged down at the 27-yard line. He'll be short of the first down. Nice pursuit that time by Fitchburg. They're really getting in, or at least on this opening drive, they really got in well on the North Middlesex offensive line. That really hurts the option play when they're able to put that much pressure on the quarterback. He has to make the keep or pitch decision a lot quicker than he would want to, and in Ruggles' case, he pitched it out. It was fielded nicely by O'Loughlin, but he was unable to come up with the first down. And now it's 4th down and 2, and North Middlesex will be forced to punt, and it's Scott Ruggles punting. Good pressure that time by Fitchburg, and it was taken at the 38-yard line, across the 40 to the 45-yard line, across midfield, and inside North Middlesex territory down to the 47-yard line.
Well, it looked to me like North Middlesex had 12 men in that field. I guess we could be aided a little by that if our count was right. So, but who knows? It was a nice run back, did a nice job. Fitchburg has the ball at the at their own 45-yard line. Let's see if Fitchburg can get to work again. Is it too noisy? Well, I'll try to keep it.
No penalty on the play. Regardless of the situation, it'll bring up a 1st down and 10 for Fitchburg at the 46-yard line of North Middlesex. 2:51 to go here in the first quarter. Still no score. Wide out split to each side. The I formation for Fitchburg. North Middlesex puts 5 on the line. The handoff is taken in the backfield and knocked down to the backfield on the 50-yard line. Is the Fitchburg Red Raiders.
Yeah, Sam Elliott just blasted across there. Again, in the first quarter, I told you Fitchburg will never run against this club. They're going to have to keep it wider in a passing game or it's going to be Doomsville. But it was a beautiful crossover by Sam Elliott. He wasn't even faked out of that one.
It'll bring up a 2nd down and long situation. 2nd down and 13. Once again, the I formation, 1 wide out split to each side. Back to pass, Stefanidis looking downfield. Now he's in trouble, and now he is dragged down from behind. David Willicott was applying the pressure on that play, but the man who got to him was Matt Aubin, number 70, the junior lineman.
Well, if you looked at that, all the safety men had their receivers covered, and that's what made the play. They really did a good job back in that secondary, Scott.
The Patriots' defense is adjusted well on the second series of Fitchburg. They're not moving the ball as they did on the first series, and we have 1 minute and 40 seconds to go here in the first quarter. It's 3rd down and 15 for Fitchburg. North Middlesex forced them into what you would assume to be a passing situation. As we mentioned, Stefanidis is a good passer, and he has good receivers. And now on 3rd and 15, Stefanidis rolls out to the right side, looking downfield, looking, fires, and that one is going to be incomplete. He threw it no man's land. One of the receivers for Fitchburg fell down on the play. He was being covered by Scott Ruggles, and now it'll bring up a 4th down situation.
Now, in the first game when they played, Martin, number 5, was always open in that middle, and they were looking for the same thing, but it was well covered. And, of course, when you're fooling with the master, Mr. Ruggles, this man makes adjustments.
Pittsburgh is forced to punt. And back deep for the Patriots at the 25-yard line. A pair of returners. North Middlesex puts on some pressure. O'Loughlin is going to field the ball at the 18-yard line. It's a very good kick. He fields it and takes it back to the 20-yard line. A return of only 4 yards. Nice pursuit that time by the Fitchburg special teams, and a nice kick to force O'Loughlin back inside his own 20. It'll be first down and 10 for North Middlesex, right at the 20-yard line. 1 minute to go here in the first quarter. Still no score in the Central Massachusetts Division I Super Bowl.
I think you're going to look for Ruggles to come out with a couple passes now to open up that defense of Fitchburg's. And I think if they hit Murphy over the middle on the first or second play, I think that'll do it.
Patriots do not throw often. Matt Lawler is in the game. The handoff is taken around the right side for a gain of only about a yard. That was Matt Dawson, the fullback, on the carry. It'll bring up a second down and long situation once again. So far in this game, Fitchburg has not been fooled by the wishbone of North Middlesex, but as you said before, the Patriots get better as the game goes on.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. Fitchburg's doing a very good job defensively here. But again, they're looking for their spots. They're going to take their time, and then all of a sudden, North Middlesex strikes.
It's second down and 9. This time, Ruggles, option left-hand side, tried to keep it himself, and once again is hemmed in, tackled by 4 different Fitchburg Red Raiders out at the 23-yard line. It'll bring up another third down and long situation, third down and 7. This may be the final play of the first quarter. They may not attempt another play, but right now it'll be third down and 8 for North Middlesex at their own 22.
I think that was a poor decision that time because North Middlesex, if he had to pitch out, the only person over there was McCall. And I think North Middlesex, if Ruggles was getting the ball out there, they would have picked up big yardage on that.
So that is the final play of the first quarter in a scoreless first quarter. North Middlesex and Fitchburg tied at 0. Fitchburg moved the ball well on their opening possession. North Middlesex is having the ball now for the second time. In their first possession, they did not get a first down, and they are in danger of having a similar situation here. It is third down and 8. The North Middlesex band plays between quarters. What's your assessment of the first quarter, Bob?
Well, the first quarter was surely a defensive battle. Fitchburg looked like they came to play. They did a nice job. They moved down the field. Unfortunately, DeVito missed the kick, and believe me, he is a very good kicker. That was just an exception to the rule. Fitchburg completely outplayed North Middlesex that first quarter, offensively and defensively.
North Middlesex would be the favorite coming into this game. They have a record of 10-0. They have played very well throughout the season, including playing very, very well in their big games. Fitchburg, as we mentioned, 7-3, but a little bit deceiving. 7-3, not what we've seen from Fitchburg in past years, but their 3 losses are to New Bedford, Brockton, and North Middlesex, who are arguably the 3 best teams in the state.
There's no question about that. But again, North Middlesex sets up a regular pattern. They play these strong teams. The first period's either 7 points or no points, and then all of a sudden they come alive. There's a lot of adjustments by the North Middlesex coaches in the scouting boxes. So let's see what happens.
Well, we shall see indeed. It is third down and 8 for North Middlesex. They have the ball at their own 22-yard line. We're just underway here in the second quarter. North Middlesex now comes out with 3 wide receivers, a very rare set for them. Quick pass is intercepted. The pass is intercepted and brought back to the 20-yard line. North Middlesex not used to running with 3 wide receivers. And Scott Ruggles forced to throw the quick pass, and he couldn't get it over the linebacker.
That was a great anticipated move. Robinson was standing right there. He did a nice job. He stepped in front of Murphy and Wacko. It's an interception. Now, Fitchburg should probably come right over the top and capitalize on this. This is their opportunity, and they have to make the best of it.
It was Fred Robinson on the interception. He's a sophomore fullback linebacker. And now it's first and 10 for the Red Raiders at the 20. This time Stefanati's tried an option play, and he was tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Once again, Razzaboni was there.
tackled by...
Again, there's no way that they're going to get through that North Middlesex line, off tackle, and so forth. They got to really come up with some type of trick plays or outside running or pitches out. They're not going to beat this North Middlesex line inside.
Excuse me, that was Jesse Auburn, who was the main man on the tackle, number 70. David Razzaboni is number 71. 10 minutes and 18 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Still no score. Fitchburg has been the aggressor thus far. They have two wide receivers out in the split backfield. Now in motion is one wide out from the far side left into the right end slot. Stefanidis is going to throw. He fires to the middle of the field. The pass is behind the intended receiver and falls incomplete at the 14-yard line.
Yeah, that was good, but if you notice, Fitchburg tips it off. They come out of their eye and they go into a different formation. And normally when they do that, they keep two blockers back there. The power eye is the hardest formation to throw a pass out of, so there was sort of a tip there.
They tip it off at very late stages, however. North Middlesex generally would not have too much time to be able to adjust to that, although they would have the inkling of that a pass might incur. They are back to the I formation now, and once again, wide receiver splits to the right side, and now a timeout is called by Graham. He saw something he didn't like.
Timeout called by Fitchburg.
And Fitchburg uses their first timeout of the football game.
Now, if you go back to the last few games Fitchburg has played, the one that's gotten them out of there is the Fitchburg is the quarterback draw or a quarterback sneak around the end. But they're going to have to watch the quarterback in this particular situation. They do like to have a quarterback draw and so forth.
Since the loss to North Middlesex, 35-7 a few weeks ago, Fitchburg has been on a tear. They defeated Westboro by a score of 48-14 and then faced a Leominster team that many people thought at the beginning of the season could take Fitchburg's place in the Super Bowl. They had a very good start, but they struggled towards the middle part of the season and were soundly defeated by Fitchburg on Thanksgiving Day, that long rivalry. They were defeated by a score of 38-14, so Fitchburg has earned their way back here into the Central Mass Super Bowl. Seems like we're beginning to be able to mark the first Saturday of December as the time that North Middlesex and Fitchburg meet. They've done it the past 4 years.
I just hope that they change the formula next year, because it's totally ridiculous when these two teams meet every year, regardless whether it's North Middlesex or Fitchburg. It's just not fair to the system, and I think that the MIAA has to do something about this.
Central Massachusetts system very different than the Eastern Massachusetts system, in which each league winner gets an automatic Super Bowl berth. Fitchburg and North Middlesex both out of the same league. Central Massachusetts still using the point system that Eastern Massachusetts used many years ago, and which caused a great amount of controversy. Different set this time for Fitchburg on 3rd down and 10. The halfback set up off tackle on the right side, and now wide receiver splits to the far side left. Draw play by Stefanidis. He's hemmed up in the backfield, and he is knocked down at the 19-yard line, and taken down by him is number 45, Matt Dawson.
Yeah, I think I called that before. Their out is always the draw play. At Oakmont, they did the same thing, and a few other players. They set everybody out, spread the field. You have to keep somebody on them.
Well, it's decision time now for Anthony DeVito. The ball is at just inside the 20-yard line. It would be a long field goal, or it's a decision time, for Ray Casenza, whether to bring in Anthony DeVito. DeVito has missed a 23-yard field goal earlier in this game. This would be much longer than that. It would be 37 yards, and they're not going to go for the field goal. They're going to go for the pass. They set up 3 wide outs, each to the right side, with Graham, the lone fullback. Stefanidis looking to pass, and he fires it low and short.
North Middlesex takes over on down.
I'll tell you, number 62 for North Middlesex, Duval, came in there, put pressure on him. He just about actually threw that ball away. By the time he looked up, he didn't know what to do with it. Again, you don't fool with this North Middlesex defense inside the 20.
Well, now it's 1st down and 10 for the Patriots. They have the ball just inside their own 20-yard line with 9 minutes, 9 seconds to go here. In the first half, still no score. North Middlesex has not gotten a 1st down in this football game. Ruggles, the handoff goes up the middle to Dawson. Now he's got a hole. He cuts it across the 25-yard line and out to the 30-yard line, and he will have the first Patriot 1st down of this football game.
Yeah, that was a nice run. And North Middlesex, they just continue to do this. They're going to eat them up alive. Trust me. Fitchburg cannot sustain North Middlesex strength up the middle. So they're not going to lie down and die. Fitchburg isn't, but they use the same players out there all the time, and they're going to get tired.
balance.
Once again, the wishbone formation, no wide receiver, 2 tight ends for the Patriots. The pitch out goes along the right side, and there's some room along the right side. It's taken across the 40 out to the 43-yard line. That was Jeff Whalen on the pitch carry, and now a flag goes down, and that may be a late hit or a face mask call against Fitchburg. You may be correct, Bob.
Let me tell you, the play before that, he grabbed the face mask in the middle and they didn't catch it. But then again, it's always easy to second guess. But if he didn't grab the face mask, he was gone.
As it stands, it was a 12-yard carry for Whalen, and we'll see how much this penalty adds. And it will add a 5-yard penalty, so it's an unintentional face mask call. It'll bring up first down and 10 for the Patriots at their own 49-yard line with 8 minutes and 38 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Well, that was a 5 yards. I don't know. It looked, it probably wasn't intentional, but it adds for the North Middlesex. Watch North Middlesex come out rolling in this one.
Face mask call came at the very end of the play. This time the handoff goes up the middle. Dawson, he's across the 45-yard line, down to the 43-yard line, and gain of 8 yards for Dawson. Now things beginning to open up for the Patriots. Both off tackle to the middle and the pitch outs right and left.
Yeah, now North Middlesex is showing a little power up there. The linebackers are getting a little tired. They're pinched in there a little, so that makes a difference. I think you watch North Middlesex come back with a little counter or pitch out in this play, and I think they're going to catch them flat-footed.
It's a second down and 2 situation. 7 minutes and 51 seconds remaining here. We're in the first half, still no score. This is North Middlesex's first meaningful drive of the football game. The handoff is taken by Dawson once again, but this time there is no hole off tackle, and he is dragged down at the 43-yard line. It'll be a loss of 2. It'll bring up a second down and 12 situation as the clock goes down to under 7.5 minutes to go here in the first half.
Of course, not to second-guess the coaching staff, but they were keyed right on him. I would have went a little wider on that, but that's he is hurt, and he has a bad wrist. He's coming out of the game, so it ought to be interesting right here. But they do have a couple players that can spell him out there. He's one of the best players in the league.
Dawson looks like he's in a great deal of pain along the left sideline as he's holding the wrist. The wrist is taped, and he is trying to comfort it. But this time, the pitch out goes to the right side, and the ball is taken across the 40-yard line, and out of bounds at the 37-yard line. It'll be a first down for the Patriots. And that time it was Jeff Whalen on the pitch once again, off tackle right.
Yeah, that was a good call. That's where North Middlesex strength is, on the outside. So they got to pull that defense out, and when they do that, the defense moves to the middle in 2 yards. The offense goes on outside. They keep doing that, they're not going to have any problems.
We haven't seen so far in this game is Scott Ruggles keep an option pass, keep an option play, and run it himself. He's been very effective doing that this year. First down and 10. Ruggles is going to keep it himself. He takes it along the 30-yard line, inside the 20, down to the 15, the 10, the 5, and he's dragged down from behind at the 3-yard line in the last second. But a long run that time, a 34-yard run by the quarterback Scott Ruggles on the keeper to the left side.
Like I was saying earlier, you can't keep them down. They're tired out there. The minute they go in that option, Ruggles is the premier quarterback in the league. There's nobody that really is even a close second to him, and that's an example right there.
Ruggles has been very effective this season, was very effective on that last play, shows a tremendous amount of speed. When he does get into the open field, it'll bring up a first down and goal situation from the 3-yard line.
You look for Piper to carry this over. Piper's going to come off tackle. They brought him in. Oh, yeah, no, they're moving him out wide. I guess they're not. They're going to probably go to the right side where Piper is now. They call a timeout. I think they were looking at the defense of Fitchburg, but it wouldn't surprise me if Piper carries the ball.
A little bit of confusion on that play. Sean Murphy and Piper both wanted to set up in the same spot, and apparently not everybody's on the same page. So North Middlesex, rather than waste a golden opportunity, going to take a timeout with 6 minutes and 21 seconds to go in the first half. Still no score, but North Middlesex has the ball first and goal on the 3-yard line. Fitchburg had the ball first and goal on the 3-yard line very early in this game on their first possession. They were pushed back to the 6-yard line and were forced to attempt a 23-yard field goal, which was wide. So what do you think the Patriots will look for in this situation? Do they try to power through, or do they try to run around either side?
Well, what I would do, I wouldn't get fancy. I just power through here. You got 4 down plays down here. They got a good field goal kicker. So if they're smart, they'll stay off tackle or they'll stay off the end, Scott. At least that's what I look for. And again, who knows?
The Patriots, you have to figure, will try to get a touchdown in this situation. Barring a penalty, we'll probably take 4 shots at the end zone. I believe that is number 7, Adam Willicott, lined up, or coming into the game. He's joined out there by Jeff Whalen.
Willicott's a fullback. You watch him. He can really thread through there. People haven't seen him all year. He's a very good fullback.
Willicott taking the position of Dawson. The handoff goes to Jesse Auburn, and he is taken down at the 2-yard line.
Actually on a 1. His forward motion was on a 1-yard line. He brought down, it looks like 1 yard. Yep, it was a good call. All they have to do is pound it in a couple times. Here comes Matt. Matt's coming in, but I think they'll decoy him. He has a bad wrist, so why give him the ball down here? But again, hey, I've been wrong before, but I certainly wouldn't give it to him. I let Ruggles keep it.
The ball is spotted just inside the 2-yard line. It's 2nd down and goal to go. Dawson is back in as the fullback. With the tailbacks, Whalen and Auburn. The handoff is taken by Auburn, and he is drilled down at the 2-yard line. Very nice play that time by Dan Schneider. He's a 6'3", 205-pound junior outside linebacker, and he really got in there on the covered, on the pass protection, or the run protection, and now it's 3rd down and goal to go from the 2.
Yeah, the linebackers did well on that, and if they do the next thing, I would personally let Ruggles keep it, because they avoided him at that time, and I think he could split it right in there. Let's see.
We'll have to see. They may be looking at 4-down territory right here. They're just outside of the 1-yard line. Wide out now, splits to the right side. Ruggles is going to try to keep it himself. He's got it in there. Touchdown! North Middlesex. Scott Ruggles kept it himself on the quarterback draw. Took it in from just outside of a yard. And the North Middlesex Patriots take a 6-0 lead with 5 minutes to go here in the 2nd quarter.
As you can see, that line, they're very aggressive, Fitchburg, and really, they were keen on a fullback. And Ruggles, the play before that, could have walked in there with it, and he handed off. So it's just a matter, Ruggles is a good man. He keeps his legs moving, and they only needed a yard. He could just fall for it.
And now the Patriots will attempt an extra point, and in to attempt it is the junior Casey Lavery. And Lavery's kick is a good one, and it is up and through the uprights. So North Middlesex on the 1-yard touchdown, quarterback keeper by Scott Ruggles. And the extra point by Casey Lavery have a 7-0 lead, and that drive was really set up by the biggest play of all. North Middlesex running the ball well the entire drive, but the biggest play of all was the 34-yard carry by Scott Ruggles on that option play.
Well, it was, and of course, again, I told you at the start of the game, North Middlesex has too much depth in there. They will tire out the other team. They have too much talent. And by the way, this talent is coming back next year, and from what I see, it's probably going to be the team to beat next year again.
Concession stands are located at both.
They've been the team to beat many years now, North Middlesex.
Located at the north end of the field of the basement.
A lot of younger players on this team. They are losing some key members, including some key members of the line, like Razzaboni and Willicott. But the quarterback is Scott Ruggles, and he is only a junior, and Matt Dawson is a junior, so you're correct, Bob. They have a number of their key people will be coming back next season. Casey Lavery to kick the ball away, and once again it's a short kick. It's going to be fielded at the 14-yard line, taken out across the 20 to the 25, and drilled down at the 29-yard line is the kick returner, and I believe that was Jesse Auburn who really crunched him.
Of course, that's Jesse Auburn. He really made a clean hit on it, and he did. Fitchburg player didn't see him coming right up there. It was a great job. He hit him. He got him with the helmet right underneath. It was a good hit, good clean hit.
And the Fitchburg return man is still feeling the after effects of that crunching blow by Jesse Auburn. He has been North Middlesex's big man on defense so far in this game. He has made a number of good plays. We have 4 minutes and 53 seconds to go here in the first half. The score is 7-0 in favor of North Middlesex. North Middlesex, once again, as we said before, is going for the three-peat, the 3rd straight Division I Central Massachusetts Super Bowl title.
Well, I think what you're going to look for Fitchburg to do in this situation, obviously, is to pass. They want to go in the locker room with some type of score. So they're going to spread them wide. They get 4 minutes and 53. So if I were Fitchburg, I would probably spread the field wide and try to hit them down over the middle in a lot of passes. Let's see if they're going to do that.
Fitchburg were to keep the ball on the ground, they would have a clock problem. There's 4 minutes and 53 seconds to go. The type of offense that a running type of offense, and it's most notably shown from the North Middlesex side. When they run the wishbone effectively, they can take a great deal of time off the clock, putting together a touchdown drive. We saw it against Brockton when they took 8 minutes off the clock in two separate situations and scoring a touchdown. Fitchburg has the ball, and they will be looking, as you mentioned, to probably pass. First down and 10 from their own 29-yard line.
If I were North Middlesex, I would really stunt and really go at the quarterback. He is not a pressure-type passer. We've seen that before, but let's see if North Middlesex drops back or pressures him.
They've thrown out of the split-back set so far in this game. Bob Goudreau is suggesting a blitz. We'll have to see what Fitchburg answers to that. The handoff is taken for a gain of about a yard to Graham.
Did you notice that North Middlesex had 5 people across there? They were going right in after Stephanidis. So again, that even equalizes the running game, Scott. So if you go after that quarterback in a blitz, you can goof up their running game too.
Looking to clog the middle was the Patriots on that play. And now we have 4.5 minutes to go, and Fitchburg isn't moving all that quickly. They have the ball second down and 10. They're just inside their own 30-yard line. Once again, the split backfield. And the two wide receivers, one each split to the far side left and to the near side right. The ball is fumbled on the play. It's on the ground. Fitchburg says that they have the ball back once again. But nonetheless, it'll bring up a 3rd down and 9 situation. And Bob, the situation we have in now is with 4 minutes to go. If Fitchburg's unable to get the ball, unable to get a first down here, North Middlesex will get the ball in fairly good field position, most likely, and still have plenty of time to put together a drive.
Yeah, that's true. And you notice in that fumble, North Middlesex did the same thing in the game in their first meeting this year. They got the quarterback and the center all shook up, and the exchanges weren't clean. But look, Fitchburg to look for Yarbrough.
The Raiders have started quickly in this game, but have cooled considerably. They go back to the I formation now, which is where they've had their most success. And Stephanidis will throw. He passes to the middle. The ball's tipped in the air. It's intercepted. It's intercepted at the 40-yard line by the North Middlesex Patriots. That was Sean Murphy, the junior end, and the Patriots will have the ball. First down and 10 at the 40-yard line. Well, the Fitchburg Raiders with 3:25 to go here in the first half. Plenty of time for a score.
Yeah, like I told you, the I formation is not a very good formation to pass out of. You have to get that ball out of there quick. When he's not over the middle, it happens. When they go into a spread formation or a pro type, that's the best way to pass. Obviously, they don't want to go with their strength, so North Middlesex taking advantage of it.
And now the Patriots come back out with a golden opportunity to put some distance between themselves and the Red Raiders here before halftime. The pitch out goes to the left side. It's taken inside the 30, down to the 25-yard line. O'Loughlin on his feet inside the 20-yard line, down to the 18-yard line, where it's finally dragged down from behind. It'll be first down and 10 for North Middlesex at the 18-yard line of Fitchburg. A nice run that time by Jason O'Loughlin breaking tackles. It'll bring up first down and 10 at the 18 of the Raiders.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Jeff Whalen checks back into the game, so North Middlesex's running game continues to open up. And now with 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go here in the second quarter, there's plenty of time for them to put together a scoring opportunity. And now they set up with 3 wide receivers. Bobbitt is one of them, also Whalen. And Ruggles is going to keep the ball on the quarterback draw, and he takes it to the 15-yard line. It was a gain of 8. Jesse Auburn had set up to the wide side right on that play, and the only person in the backfield was Dawson.
Yeah, that was a good call. He spread them out. He had a little room there. Hey, another foot, he would have been picked up 8 or 9 yards. I don't think they have to get too fancy down here. They don't have to pass the ball. What I would do in this play, I go on a wide side sweep or a pitch out. They look like they're waiting on the inside. You watch this.
2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. North Middlesex not only wants to score, but they want to take up as much time possible in doing so, unless they can get an easy one. And Whalen has it on the right side, and he takes no. The ball is fumbled. It's on the ground. It's at the 14-yard line. Whalen was hit as he was crossing the line of scrimmage.
I think Fitchburg got it.
You may be right, Bob. The ball was knocked out of his left hand as he was carrying it across the line of scrimmage, and Fitchburg has dodged a bullet right now. They have the ball at their own 13-yard line with just over 2 minutes to go here in the first half. They trail 7-0.
But you see what I mean by that wide side. They're going to beat them down. If they're going to beat them any place, that's where they're going to beat them at. Now, Fitchburg has got 2 minutes to go. They can't fool around with that pass. They got to run sweeps and stuff like that, and they haven't done it at all.
2 minutes and 12 seconds remaining here in the first half.
Just take one pass, Scott. That's all it takes is to catch up.
One score indeed. North Middlesex leading 7-0. Split backfield. Stefanati's to throw on first down, looking downfield, looking long, and the pass is going to be caught at the 50-yard line. This could be an off-to-the-races situation. And Bob, you were right. You said it would just take one pass, and it did indeed. Clarence Yarborough down the left sideline. They could be throwing a penalty flag of some type of celebration penalty, but nonetheless, it's an...
Ball out of the end zone, unsportsmanlike conduct.
Well, nonetheless, it's an 83-yard touchdown by Clarence Yarborough. And Fitchburg is one extra point away from tying this game before halftime. So, Bob, you said all it took was one pass. We know that Stefanati's has the arm and he had the wide receivers. He got one-on-one coverage on the left sideline, and Yarborough just beat his defender down the field, caught the ball, very good pass, got the ball in stride, and just took off. He has excellent speed.
Now, if you notice the formation they weren't in an I formation. They were in a split. And that was... of course, there was a flag down there, and I don't know what he's doing with it. It looks like unsportsmanlike conduct. He threw the ball out of the end zone when he went in there.
Anthony DeVito will be attempting an extra point to tie this football game with 2 minutes to go in the first half. So very quickly things changed. North Middlesex looked like they were going in for some type of a score to widen their lead before halftime, and the fumble, and then the long pass. And Fitchburg has tied the game now as the extra point is good.
Good kicker.
And with 2 minutes to go here in the first half, we have a tie football game between Fitchburg and North Middlesex. So Fitchburg hanging very tough with the Patriots in this game. We mentioned how difficult it would be, how difficult it usually is for a team to defeat a team twice in a season. It is easily much more difficult when that has occurred. And in earlier meetings between these two teams, the team that has won the regular season matchup went on to lose the Super Bowl with the exception of last year.
And, you know, it's the same thing. If a team goes with their strength, they're going to score with their strength. And that's what you have to do. North Middlesex strength is the sweeps and the outside run. Fitchburg's strength is their passing game, not their running game. It sets up the pass, I understand that, but they're not going to run against North Middlesex.
Well, now North Middlesex may get good field position out of this because there was the unsportsmanlike call, and that will be a 10-yard penalty. It's a bit of a celebration call. Fitchburg obviously a little excited about scoring that touchdown, so the jubilation that incurred, they are going to be moved back 10 yards, and North Middlesex has a kickoff returner back just inside the 30-yard line, so they're looking to get good field position. There's still 2 minutes to go. They have plenty of time. They have some timeouts if they want to work to that situation. So it may not be beyond question that the Patriots put together another drive. We've had a lot of action here in the final couple of minutes of the first half. Very slow beginning to this football game. The two teams have picked up the pace as we figured they would, and now it's 7-7 with 2 minutes left. The ball slips off the tee.
Well, look for North Middlesex, for the kicker rather, keep the ball low. You don't want to get it up there because North Middlesex is going to get good field position. Secondly, you look for North Middlesex to come out and air it out. Scott Ruggles is a very good passer, so I think they're going to air it out right away.
O'Loughlin is the man in the middle, stationed back at the 25-yard line. And you're correct, Bob. They do have a low kick, and it's going to be fielded at the 37-yard line and slipping down on the artificial turf. These teams not used to playing on the artificial turf. And slipping down is the kickoff returner at the 38-yard line. So that's the situation that the Patriots have. First down and 10 at their own 38-yard line. A bit of 54 to go here in the first half.
Yeah, Nick, he received that ball, and actually he looked up and saw the guys coming, and hey, I probably would have slipped too, but he was trying to hold on to that ball and so forth, and he took his eye off it for a minute, and he hit the ground. But look for North Middlesex to really come out strong here, or maybe settle for 7-7. Who knows? It's a good game right now. I still give the edge to Fitchburg. They played a very good half.
Wishbone formation now. They have one wide receiver in the slot left. The pitch out is taken by Auburn, and he is hemmed in. He is in all kinds of trouble. He tries to run back across the grain. He winds up getting back to the line of scrimmage, but excellent pursuit that time by the Fitchburg Raiders.
You know, that was good, but if you notice, Fitchburg was running a lot of motion to this side. Now, if North Middlesex runs a counter off of this, they're going to set them up and trap them on this side to field. I'd look for Ruggles to do that.
It's second down. North Middlesex is letting the clock run down. 1 minute and 21 seconds remaining here in the first half. So now time becomes an issue for the Patriots. They need a big play if they are to score here soon. The ball is taken this time by O'Loughlin, and he gets out of bounds at the 43-yard line. It was a gain of 4 to bring up a 3rd down and 6 situation as the clock stopped with 1 minute and 8 seconds to go in the first half.
You know, if they have to kick, you know, Fitchburg's in a good position to come back again. So North Middlesex really has to get out of this territory. And like I told you, Fitchburg is very dangerous. They're a very, very good passing team. So North Middlesex is not out of the woods in this.
Jesse Auburn is now along the sideline on the bench. He's being attended to. North Middlesex has yet another set of running backs out there now. And it's 3rd down and 6. And the handoff is taken to the right side, and there is no gain. So now North Middlesex will be forced to punt with 1 minute to go here in the first half. Fitchburg wants a timeout. As you mentioned before, Bob, they have a situation where they can try to do something if they can get the ball. But what I'd expect them to perhaps do right now is to really go after this kick and to try to get good field position a little bit easier.
Well, I'll tell you what I would do. I remember a couple years ago when North Middlesex was playing Fitchburg with about 50 seconds to go. They popped the pass over the side to Murphy. They opened it up and they got the ball back and they preserved the victory. But it's probably still early in the game. I don't think you'd look for that. But, hey, I would take a chance on it. Popping the Murphy over. They're going to be all back. They're going to look. But who knows? Let's see what happens. But more than likely they will kick. But I like to see them do something here.
Sandy Ruggles, very successful coach. Generally a fairly conservative coach, although you will see him pull out the trick play from time to time.
Restrooms are located at the north end of the field in the basement of Harrington.
We have 56 seconds remaining here in the first half. North Middlesex took a 7-0 lead on a 1-yard touchdown run by Scott Ruggles, but Fitchburg came back with 2 minutes to go in the half on an 83-yard touchdown pass from their quarterback, Todd Stephanides, to the senior captain wide receiver, Clarence Yarborough. Fitchburg putting a lot of men on the line. North Middlesex does put a couple people on the outsides. That may be a decoy, and it is, as Ruggles kicks the ball away. And this is going to wind up being a good kick because it's going to roll, and it's going to go out of bounds at the 22-yard line with 48 seconds remaining here in the first half. So Fitchburg may be content in this situation. We don't know what they do. They threw the pass earlier, but they may be content to salvage a 7-7 lead going into halftime and turn it into a one-half football game.
Well, really, Fitchburg has nothing to lose. If they throw a long pass, it's intercepted. It's like a punt anyhow. So they're not going to do that. We know that. So let's see what happens.
A long pass from Stephanides. He definitely does have the arm to make such a pass. It's 1st down and 10. They have the ball at their own 22-yard line. There's 47 seconds remaining here in the first half. Tie football game, 7-7 between North Middlesex and Fitchburg. Mind you, you're watching Continental Cablevision. We're here at WPI Field. The delay handoff is really snuffed out that time by North Middlesex. There was no doubt about it. Mike Piper was in there, as was number 70, Matt Auburn. And now North Middlesex wants the timeout with 37 seconds. And why might they be calling a timeout?
I don't know why they're calling a timeout, but I mean, you know, it's 7-7. You got 37 seconds to go in a game, and you're on a draw play. Hey, who knows, right? We're not second guessing, but hey, I'd go for the bomb here.
Well, perhaps what the Patriots are thinking is if they can force Fitchburg would now have a very dangerous situation to go for the pass. They have 2nd down and 17. They need a lot of yards to get a 1st down. What North Middlesex perhaps could be thinking is if they can force them into a punting situation, they would really have nothing to lose by going all out after the punt, even if there is some type of infraction or penalty called. Fitchburg would not get good field position and would have little time left. We have 37 seconds remaining here in the first half, and we have a tie ball game, 7-7. North Middlesex has called a timeout.
Yeah, now this is probably a situation, as I said earlier, that Fitchburg is going to probably come out with a long pass, because even if it's intercepted, Scott, it's like a punt. It's all the way downfield with you probably have only about 30 or 28 seconds left on the clock. If the other team catches it, they're in for a touchdown. So I think it's a no-lose situation for Fitchburg.
They've already used a long pass once in this football game, and it went for the touchdown. We'll see if they try it again. They are back at their own 15-yard line. The touchdown pass was 83 yards. This would be 85, but that's being presumptuous. We have 37 seconds to go here in the first half. We have a tie football game. Fitchburg has played the Patriots very close here in this football game. Any of those who figured this game could be a blowout were far mistaken. 7-7 the score. Split formation backfield. Stefanidis with a short pass. Complete. Out across the 30-yard line. Very nice pass into heavy coverage. To her right, they decided to go to the pass in that situation to Yarborough. And if Yarborough maybe a step quicker to pass, maybe just a few inches out in front of him a little bit further, he may have been able to beat the down lineman.
Yeah, that was a good call. It was a good pass. But what you got to do in that play, you got to take that receiver out. You got to really check him off that line because that half a second makes a difference.
He was tackled by 3 Patriots. North Middlesex got in there. And now a timeout has been called by Fitchburg, I believe, with 29 seconds to go here in the first half. We're on what is generally the North Middlesex side of the field here, and the fans are generally quiet here. As I think many of them came down here, and we're expecting, coming off of the 35-7 victory early in the season, we're expecting an easy win today.
You know, it's really something. You know, a team gets back in a preventive defense, and I think that's totally ridiculous. You got to put pressure on a quarterback. They look for that down and out, 10, 15 yards, 10, 15 yards. But seriously, Scott, you got to keep the pressure on a quarterback. A high school quarterback cannot take pressure. Very few of them. You have to go back to see real fine quarterbacks can handle it. Majority of them can't. You put the pressure on them, they're not going to get that shot pass 10, 15 yards off. So I think what North Middlesex has still got to do is come in at them.
We have 29 seconds remaining here in the first half. Fitchburg has the ball first down and 10 at their own 38-yard line. We have a tie football game. Scott Souza here along with Bob Goudreau here from the WPI field. The home of the Central Mass Superbowl here on the campus of Worcester Polytech.
Now they got to delay Yarborough at that line. They really got to delay him.
Fitchburg sends a receiver in motion to the left side, and now Fitchburg is moving. And that was number 99, Joe Bellio, who moved a little bit quickly, set up in the tight end position. And that hurts Fitchburg, as they now have to go back 5 more yards with still 29 seconds remaining in the first half.
Now you got to watch Joe Bellio. He's a very good receiver, and looked to me like he wanted to get a quick start off the cutover between the linebackers underneath that defense. So I'd watch 99 on this play.
What you got? What you got?
29 seconds remains here in the first half. To a very quick-moving first part of the game. The last couple minutes have taken quite a time. Once again, the split backfield, 1 wide out, split to each side. Middlesex putting a lot of men on the line. The handoff is taken up the middle. Still on his feet is going to be Yarborough. The younger Yarborough is taken down at the 42-yard line. It'll be short of the first down. There's 12 seconds remaining here in the first half, and Fitchburg calls a timeout. They waited a couple seconds for some unclear reason, but now it's a second down situation, 2nd down and 6, and right now it becomes Hail Mary territory if you want to give it a shot.
Yeah, now you go with a play like that, a running play, that's good inside the 20 or the 30 where you got a field goal kicker, but out here you're only going to pick up 10 or 15 yards, so they still got to go with that passing play, Scott.
North Middlesex was playing a little bit further back, and they were going to concede the 10 or 15-yard gain on that play. There's really no reason to stop it and try to force Fitchburg to take up as much time as possible on one play. Now we have 11 seconds to go here in the first half. We have a tie football game. Fitchburg has the ball right at their own 40-yard line. They're 60 yards away from a score. North Middlesex hoping to force a tie at halftime.
Yeah, what they have to do is drop safeties back now. Watch these guys on the fly. You're going to have Yarborough come down deep, and you might have Bolio, the second man in the middle. So I would watch it right now. I would watch the fly, and I still send in a couple guys. In fact, they get a different secondary back there. Okay. They move what you call it over there. Okay, that's a smart move.
North Middlesex does drop a number of men back. They have 5 men back, now make it 6 men back in the secondary, just 4 men on the line. And the cornerbacks are giving their receivers a 10-yard cushion. Stefanidis is going to run. He's in trouble. He crosses the 40-yard line, breaks a tackle. He's across the 50-yard line, still on his feet, but he is going to be knocked out of bounds with 1 second remaining here in the first half. So the clock stops, and the quarterback, Stefanidis, O'Loughlin finally forced Stefanidis out of bounds on the far left sideline at the 50-yard line. It was a gain of 10 yards. It was a first down, but now there's 1 second remaining here in the first half. And North Middlesex will probably set up in a very similar defense.
See, that run was caused by the coverage downfield. They had good coverage down there. Stefanidis had no place to throw it, so he made a nice run. He came up. Of course, that played right in the hands of the clock for North Middlesex.
Stefanidis was able to get out of bounds with 1 second remaining, so that allows Fitchburg to call a timeout in this situation and take another shot. They have the ball right at midfield. We've had one very close half of football. North Middlesex with the long drive that resulted in the touchdown, a 1-yard touchdown run by Scott Ruggles, and the extra point kick by Casey Lavery, and Ruggles set up that touchdown by the long keeper on the quarterback option play. He took the ball from the 37-yard line all the way down to the 3-yard line. And Fitchburg came back with 2 minutes to go after a North Middlesex fumble, a long touchdown pass, and that's pretty much where we stand. Fitchburg is hoping for one last score here in the first half, but it appears that we will probably go into halftime tied.
Well, it appears that way, but you never know. Stefanidis has a good arm, and he's got some fine receivers out there. So let's see what happens, see if North Middlesex can contain them. They're going to have to go for the bomb. Obviously, no run and play. North Middlesex got the field spread.
North Middlesex with the field spread indeed. And Fitchburg now takes their final shot of the football, the first half. Stefanidis back to pass. He's under pressure, and he's hit, and he's knocked down. Adam Willicott was there along with Jesse Auburn. Along with Matt Auburn, and he knocked him down at the 45-yard line, and that's going to do it for one half of football here from WPI Field, the home of the Central Mass Super Bowl. And after one half of play, the score in the Division I Central Massachusetts Super Bowl, North Middlesex 7 and Fitchburg High School 7. We'll be back for the second half after this.
Now, what did you say Mike wanted to talk about after what?
Good afternoon again, everybody. Scott Souza back here with Bob Goudreau from WPI Field, the home of the Super Bowl. For this afternoon, the North Middlesex Patriots is taking on the Fitchburg Red Raiders, and the score is 7-7 here at halftime. Bob, what's your assessment of the first half?
Well, the first half, Fitchburg did a great job offensively and so forth. I think Fitchburg set the tempo of the game in the first half. They did a nice job. North Middlesex has got to stay to what they do best, and that's the wishbone. We'll come out in this half. We will watch it and see what adjustments each team has made.
North Middlesex won the opening toss of the football game and decided that they would rather have the ball at the beginning of the second half. So that's indeed what will occur. North Middlesex will get the ball to start off here in the second half. And we're just about ready to get underway with the second half action. What do you think of the strategy, Bob, of North Middlesex electing to take the ball in the second half first possession rather than the first half possession?
Well, we see a lot more of that with most of the games. The kids like to go on defense at the first half of the game, and then coming back. If they're down, they have an advantage. They get the ball in the second half. If they're up, they still have an advantage because they keep the ball.
North Middlesex dodged a bullet there in that first half when Fitchburg got the ball in their opening possession, took it all the way down to the 3-yard line, but failed to score. And now Fitchburg kicking the ball off here in the second half. Back deep is O'Laughlin at the 10-yard line. The kick is going to be another short, low kick. It's going to be fielded at the 6, taken 16, taken across the 20 to the 25, out to the 32-yard, out to the 28-yard line, where the Patriots will start off first down and 10. We're just underway here in the second half of this afternoon's game between North Middlesex Regional High School and Fitchburg High School, the Raiders, as these two teams going for the Division I Central Massachusetts Super Bowl title.
Well, okay, now the North Middlesex is starting off the second half with the same running backs they had in there before. Matt Dawson, quarterback Ruggles, and they're back in the wishbone formation.
The option play is pitched back to O'Laughlin. The ball's on the ground, and O'Laughlin is going to come up with it back at the 15-yard line. But it's a loss of 13 yards. It'll bring up second down and 23.
Yeah, that was a very bad pitch out by Ruggles. Defensively, Fitchburg covered that very well. As number 44, Johnny Rogers, came across there and he covered it.
10 minutes and 25 seconds to go. We're just underway here in the third quarter. And we are tied at 7, and North Middlesex is in a bit of a hole. They have the ball second down and 22, back at their own 22. And there's some movement involved, and Fitchburg may be called for that infraction.
Yeah, number 99, Joe Bolio, just jumped off for a minute. That caused an offside. He made contact.
Offside against Fitchburg.
It's North Middlesex, which had 3 illegal procedure calls against them in the opening possession of the football game. Now benefit from an illegal procedure call to bring up a second down and 17 situation. A little bit better for the Patriots, but they're still deep in their own zone as the ball's up to the 21-yard line. It was in the 16 previous. Once again, the wishbone formation, one wide out, split to the far side right. And this time the pitch out is successful. It's taken at about the 25-yard line and out across the 30-yard line. Nice run there after contact was made. Jason O'Laughlin brought it back across the 30 to the 31. It'll bring up a third down and 6.
Yeah, Jason did a nice job. He picked his blockers up in front. He followed them up. It looked like he'd be stopped back there, but he went across and he picked up several yards. It was a good, very good call.
9:27 to go here in the third quarter. And now a third down play for North Middlesex. One wide out now is split to the left side. The near side left. And Ruggles is going to keep it, and Ruggles is knocked down as he crosses the 32-yard line out to the 33-yard line. North Middlesex forced to punt in this situation, 4th down and 4.
Yeah, that was the time that, Ruggles, not to second guess him, he probably should have pitched it out, but they were really on that keeper. They really got him covered with 2 players back there.
Fitchburg, as they did in the opening couple possessions, North Middlesex's opening couple possessions of the first half, really getting a lot of movement, really getting a lot of penetration in on the North Middlesex offensive line, and now a timeout is called by the Patriots.
Yeah, it looks like a little confusion in the huddle. Ruggles was, I don't know what he wanted to do, but he got a little excited, a little confusion, so he called a quick timeout. And that's what you have to do instead of going back and causing any type of confusion during the play.
4th down and 6 for North Middlesex. They have the ball at their own 32-yard line with 8:42 to go. Here in the third quarter, 7-7. As we've mentioned quite often, Bob, this is the 4th year in a row that North Middlesex has played Fitchburg in the Division I Super Bowl. North Middlesex has won the last 2, and Fitchburg won the game that was 4 years ago.
Yeah, and that was the first game they played was down in Webster, the first time North Middlesex jumped from Division II up to Division I, and it was a great game, and Fitchburg had some great running backs back then, McCall and so forth, so they really gave North Middlesex fits that day. The last 2, they've been hard-hitting games the first half, and both teams are very, very strong, Scott, and anyone can win this ball game the way it is right now.
North Middlesex has not played Fitchburg in sports for very many years. North Middlesex for years was in Division II as Fitchburg was in Division I. But just in the past 5 years, these two teams have developed an incredible rivalry. Scott Ruggles is back at the 20-yard line. He's got 3 people in front of him. Ruggles is going to kick the ball away. And it is going to be fielded on a fair catch at the 40-yard line by Clarence Yarborough. It'll be 1st down and 10 from the 40. Good field position for the Raiders.
Yeah, that's right on the 40-yard line. Now, if Fitchburg is to make a move, this is the time to do it. I think you're going to look for them to air it out. That's where the strength is, and North Middlesex is going to really have to look for that back there in the secondary.
The ball is spotted just across the 40-yard line. It's 1st down and 10 for Fitchburg at their own 41-yard line. 8:34 to go here in the third quarter, and they are looking to take the lead for the first time in this football game. Tight end. Julio switches to the other side. Now Stefanidis has the ball on the keeper. He's across midfield into North Middlesex territory down at the 40-yard line. It was a 19-yard gain by their quarterback, the senior captain, Todd Stefanidis.
I'll tell you right now, it was a good saving tackle by Jason O'Laughlin. Stefanidis did a nice job. He avoided a couple hits in the middle, and he took it down there, and it was really a good play.
So now it's 1st down and 10 for Fitchburg at the 40 of the Patriots. The Raiders have been moving the ball well in their opening possessions. They did it on the first half, and they've done it so far here in this half. The handoff is taken and knocked down at the 40-yard line. Lawrence Yarborough was hit at the line of scrimmage and driven down. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Again, that was the power of North Middlesex defensive team. Matt Dawson, and they were right there waiting for him in a hole. So they did a good job, the defensive four up in there. It's 2nd down. I look to Fitchburg probably to come out the pass, Scott.
2nd down and 10. Fitchburg passed with success late in the first half. They have yet to throw the ball here in the second half. The split backfield, one wide out, split to each side. Yarborough is split to the near side right. He's their biggest threat. With Middlesex jumping around, Stefanidis throws. Yarborough complete at the 38-yard line and down to the 31-yard line. Looks like he'll be short of the 1st down. It'll bring up 3rd down and short.
Yeah, that was a nice pass out there. It was defended, and it could, with his would help catch that ball out there, Scott.
Reception by Yarborough.
It was a 9-yard reception for Yarborough. It'll bring up 3rd down and 1. 7 minutes and 17 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Tie football game, 7-7. Between North Middlesex and Fitchburg, it's the Division I Central Massachusetts title is on the line. Now it's 3rd and 1. The handoff is forward across the 30 for, I believe, the 1st down is Graham. He was hammered in the backfield on that play. And who was it that made the hit on that play, Bob? Did you happen to see that?
I didn't see it. It looked like Wallacott, but then again, there was 2 or 3 in there. But I think it was Wallacott that officially made that hit on it.
Wallacott crunched him, but he couldn't bring him down. And the fullback was able to squirt off around the left side, and now the ball is spotted just inside the 30-yard line.
It looks like he missed it probably by about a half a foot, it looks to me, but then again, my eyes have gone bad on me. No, he made it by football length.
The length of the football and a 1st down by Fitchburg. 1st down and 10, just inside the 30 of the Patriots.
That little extra push by Graham after the initial hit really picked up that 1st down, Scott.
It was a very nice run. North Middlesex cheerleaders trying to get things going for the fans here. Been fairly quiet so far in this game. They really haven't had a lot to cheer about since the 2nd quarter. Fitchburg has controlled the tempo of the football game.
Yes, they have, and Fitchburg, like the first half, did control the whole thing. They seem to be controlling the second half, Scott.
Now it's 1st down and 10. Split backfield. The option is kept inside the 25, down to the 18-yard line, finally forced out of bounds. At the 18-yard line was the quarterback Stefanidis, forced out of bounds by Ruggles, but it'll be another 1st down for Fitchburg.
That was a great run by Stefanelli, and if you looked at the pitch off, Jason O'Loughlin looked like he had him lined up, but Jason went after the pitch man instead of staying on the Stefanidis, and I think he would have had him, but it's easy to say, Scott.
6 minutes and 25 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. 7-7 the score. And Fitchburg is trying to take the lead here in this football game. Again, they go back to the I formation now. North Middlesex, whole bunch of people on the line. 5 on the line for North Middlesex.
Good job.
And this time the ball is kept by Stefanidis, and he is hammered back at the 16-yard line. 3 Patriots were there.
Of course, Wallacott, again, number 54, he threw the crunching one in there that held him right back there. Again, it was a nice run by Stefanidis. I think that they're trying to exploit their outside running on this now, not the inside. They're staying from in to the outside.
2nd down and 8 coming up for Fitchburg. As the Raiders are trying to keep the momentum here in this football game. Under center is Stefanidis. He's going to throw on 2nd and 8. Looking to the middle of the field. The ball is tipped and it's incomplete. The ball was tipped across the middle of the field that time.
Well, that was probably a good call, but he threw it into 4 North Middlesex defenders, and Bolio just came across waiting for the ball, but it was tipped. It was a nice hands up by a North Middlesex defender.
Bob, as you mentioned, there were 4 defenders in the area, so North Middlesex had that play well covered. Now it's 3rd down and 8. The ball continues to rest just outside the 16-yard line.
you got?
Big play, big play. Come on now.
Pittsburgh taking their time, and they now call a timeout with 5 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Well, it looks to me like Fitchburg is changing their strategy a little more in the second half. They're not going to run it between tackles and guards. They're going to run it between the tackle and the end and the outside, and occasionally throw a pass out there. And North Middlesex really has to make some adjustments to it. Fitchburg has really improved in the last 4 or 5 games, so it's technically we're looking at a different Fitchburg team right now, Scott.
They're playing far different than the Fitchburg team that lost to North Middlesex 35-7 a few weeks ago. As we mentioned, since that game, they went out the next week and they beat Westboro 48-14, and then they crushed their longtime rival Leominster 38-14 last week.
So I don't know what to look for on this play, but Fitchburg got the work cut out for them. It could possibly be a keeper or a quick pass over the middle. That's what I would look for. So let's see what happens.
Fitchburg, as you've mentioned before, Bob, does have the option if they can't get the first down on this play. They have a very good field goal kicker in Anthony DeVito. He did miss that field goal earlier of 23 yards, but you said you've seen him before, and he has an excellent leg. And they're close enough into North Middlesex territory right now that if they weren't able to get a first down in this play, then they'd be looking at a 32-yard field goal. So Fitchburg with a couple of opportunities to score here. 5 minutes and 17 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. We have a 7-7 ball game. Fitchburg would dearly love to reverse the 2-year trend that North Middlesex has. And here we go. This is a big play. 3rd down and 8. In motion is the tight end Bolio to the left side. Split backfield. Stefanides looking to keep it on the option. Now pitches it back. And taken down at the 16-yard line is Yarborough. A whole bunch of Patriots were there.
Yeah, that was a good pitch out. Probably was a good call, but you don't want to go to the well too often, and that's what they did. North Middlesex was keyed on it. They had somebody on Stefanides, and the secondaries moved up to pick up the pitch-up man, so it was a good defensive call.
It's now a very interesting call for the Fitchburg High School football coach, Ray Casenza. He has a 4th down and 7 situation. A field goal would be 32 yards. He has the kicker would have the wind at his back, and it looks like they may be attempting that field goal indeed.
Again, they're going for the field goal, but I'd watch for something else here. Although he is an excellent field goal kicker, they can get a little tricky.
It's going to be attempting the field goal from the right hash mark. It's 33 yards. And this kick is up, and this kick is not even going to be close. It bounces just on the far end of the end zone. And Fitchburg once again starts off the half with a very effective drive and is turned away. That drive took almost 7 minutes, Bob, and very similar to the first half where they moved the ball very, very well and then couldn't cap it off with any points.
Well, it was you're right there, but on that kick, going back to the kick, Scott, everything was clean. The snap was back there. It was down. He had plenty of time. It looked to me like he just rushed it, didn't follow through on it, but he does have the leg to get it there.
So now the Patriots crowd, which has been quiet for most of this game, is beginning to urge on their troops. The handoff is taken by Auburn across the 20-yard line out to the 24-yard line. It'll be a gain of about 3.5 yards, bring up 2nd down at about 6.
Yeah, Auburn did a good job there. He found a hole open, looked for his blockers, and he picked up 3.5 yards. So that's what North Middlesex has to do, and maybe come back with some in runs and so forth.
3:51 to go here in the third quarter. Ruggles calling out the signals. Once again, the wishbone formation behind him. The pitch out goes to O'Loughlin. He's got a little bit of room. He's across the 30-yard line, across the 40-yard line, across midfield. He's got one man to beat. Will he beat him? No, he is finally dragged out from behind at the 23-yard line of the Fitchburg Red Raiders. A tremendous run that time by Jason O'Loughlin.
Again, you saw O'Loughlin come across, and again, you notice Fitchburg is tight up at that line. So by them being in tight and North Middlesex getting off, the only one back there was the deep safety man. That's what allowed O'Loughlin to get across in that opening.
Yarborough finally dragged him out of bounds. And now North Middlesex has a 1st down and 10 at the 24-yard line of Fitchburg. So Fitchburg took all that time off the clock and did not come away with a score. Now North Middlesex, one play is in scoring range. This time the handoff is taken by Dawson, and he's going to gain a yard.
You're right. Dawson was up there, but if you look at Fitchburg's defense is in tight. They really don't have anybody back there. They're coming up quick on the play, and this tells me that they're just keen on a runner and a quarterback. And how North Middlesex is what they're going to do about it, I don't know, but I'm sure the scouts are looking at it, and the coach is going to make some adjustment. But that secondary is open back there, Scott.
Well, you're very correct, Bob. On that play a couple of minutes ago, once O'Laughlin really broke through the line of scrimmage, he just had that one man to beat, and it was only the tremendous speed of Lawrence Yarborough that brought him down. Now it's 2nd down and 9. And the handoff is taken across the 20-yard line down to the 17-yard line. That was Auburn. Jesse Auburn, and now that'll bring up a 3rd down situation. 3rd down at about 3.5.
Again, North Middlesex, Fitchburg defense did pretty well, but the North Middlesex line, interior line, did a good couple traps on that play, and they got them across out there.
So now it's 3rd down and 4, Bob, and this is perhaps a situation where North Middlesex doesn't necessarily have to go for a play that would definitely get them all 4 yards here, because they'll probably go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, a couple, 2 or 3 yards would be good. They have another down to do it.
It's 3rd and 4 from the 17. The handoff goes to O'Laughlin, and he is hemmed down behind the line of scrimmage, knocked down at the 16-yard line, and it will bring up 4th down and 2.
Again, the Fitchburg defense came across there and looked like they were keying on O'Laughlin. They went with the flow of it. I think what North Middlesex has to do is come back with counters on that.
16-yard line.
4th down and almost 3 yards, and now the Patriots want a timeout. They really want to think about this. This is a big play in the game. We have 1:43 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. And we've played almost the entire 3rd quarter, and each team only has 1 possession, so you don't really know how many they're going to get in the 4th quarter. North Middlesex, after shutting down Fitchburg's opportunity on the other side, would really love to come away with some points here.
Yeah, I like to. This is an opportunity for them. What they're going to do, I don't know. It's a tough one. Should they go for the pitch out? Fitchburg's defense has really stiffened up. The last play showed it. They came across, they had a lot of pursuit, and they took the wind out of North Middlesex in that. So North Middlesex is, with this team out, is going to regroup. Find out what the coaches have to say, and maybe come back with a quick pass, or again, maybe come wide this side to field with a pitch out or a fake option with Ruggles. I think they would go with their bread and butter play, and with Ruggles on a keeper.
That was the play that worked so well in the first half. It got Ruggles, well, it was more of an option play that he got the long run, but the 1-yard touchdown run was just on that keeper right up the middle. We know that Ruggles can run that play very effectively.
Yeah, so you're right. You can look for the keeper or the option play, whatever it is. But I think somewhere Scott Ruggles is going to be involved in this.
It is 4th down and almost 3 yards. 1 minute and 43 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. We have a tie football game. North Middlesex 7 and Fitchburg 7. And now the fans urging on the Patriots. 4th down and 3. They're going for it. Ruggles set up with 3 fullbacks behind him. He's going to throw the ball. He's looking, and it's tipped away and incomplete.
As you can see in that play right there, Scott didn't get rid of it right away. O'Laughlin was wide open because they only had 1 man back in the secondary. He chose to go with Murphy, and he rushed the pass. I think if he had waited about another second and a half, Scott, he would have O'Laughlin open wide in the end zone.
It was a very well-designed play, Bob, because they did have 2 people there on the right side. O'Laughlin was the deep man. If the pass had a little bit more on it, then North Middlesex would be talking touchdown right now. But Fitchburg was gaining for the run, and they did have a couple men in pursuit of Ruggles, and he had to contend with that. Now Fitchburg is the team that's dodged the bullet, and they have the ball, and they're running it on 1st down, and it's taken out across the 19-yard line for a gain of 3. So both teams with good scoring opportunities here in the opening, in the 3rd quarter of this football game, and both teams were turned away.
Absolutely. It's the defense in both teams has done the job. Fitchburg defense has done the job all year. And once they've done the job, Stephanides and his crew come in and seem to score after that. So let's see how Fitchburg reacts to this.
They got 3 yards on the first play. It was a delayed option. And now it's 2nd down and 7 for Fitchburg. They have the ball just inside their own 19-yard line. Score is still tied at 7. We've been that way since the 2-minute mark of the first half. Stefanides going to throw on second down, looking to the right sideline, and it is going to be incomplete. That could be pass interference, and it is.
Fitchburg.
We'll have to see who the pass interference is against, and it will be against Fitchburg as number 5 on that play, T.J. Martin, just hurled Matt Lawler out of the way. Lawler actually had the beat on that ball. It was well overthrown, and Lawler had the best chance at it.
Yes, Matt Lawler was in a position, he was in front of him, and then the offensive man really pushed him out of the way. They really shouldn't have done that. I don't think Matt would have got the ball, but hey, he pushed him out. They're going to get penalized heavily on that, so it was not a good offensive play.
Major judgment error on behalf of the Fitchburg receiver on that play, because as you mentioned, the ball was easily overthrown by 7 or 8 yards. Lawler really had no chance at it. He was just the closest person to the ball. And once Lawler ran by the intended receiver just pushed him from behind.
Of course, you don't like to take a 10-yard penalty in that situation. Fitchburg now is tacked on an extra 10 yards. They really have to come back to make it up with some type of long gainer.
Fitchburg is really pushed back deep in their own zone. They're back at their own 10-yard line on second down and 19. Now North Middlesex has the pressure of having Fitchburg backed up to their own goal line. This is the first time we've seen this type of situation in the game. Stefanides going to throw on second down, looking downfield, in trouble, and he is pulled out of bounds at the 8-yard line. Once again, tremendous pursuit that time by North Middlesex, and that was Razzaboni, I believe, was the first man there.
Yeah, Razzaboni was over there, and as I said in the first half, the only way, and starting off the second half, you can stop the passing game, and you've got to keep that pressure on. You can't drop back into a preventive defense continuously because I think you can stop two things, a running game and a passing game, by applying pressure, and that was a good case right there.
You're very correct, Bob. There was an excellent case of getting the men in there. They really had a beat on Stefanides the whole time. He was rolling out to the left side, but North Middlesex was applying pressure. He couldn't really plant and throw, and now it's 3rd and 20. And they are just going to try the draw play to try to get out of this situation. The handoff is taken forward for a gain of 2 yards, and now Fitchburg has to punt out of their own end zone.
Yeah, that was a good defensive series. Mike Piper just got the runner there. It was a good defensive series for North Middlesex. It keeps them back in the ball game, and we're going to see what type of kicking game Fitchburg has, and North Middlesex is going to be in good position.
It appears that will be the case because Jason O'Laughlin is stationed back at the Fitchburg 40-yard line. North Middlesex putting on pressure. They almost get to it, but they can't. An excellent kick. And the ball is going to bounce in North Middlesex territory and take a Fitchburg roll. A tremendous kick that time. The ball is finally down at the 24-yard line of the North Middlesex Patriots. A 66-yard punt.
Boy, that was some fun. I haven't seen any punt like that down here since I've been coming to the playoff game. He did a great job. They followed the ball down. It's all the way down, like you said, on the 23, 24-yard line. North Middlesex has a long way to go. I think Fitchburg really get out of a deep hole.
Well, Fitchburg averting disaster as they get the very long kickoff in that situation. And North Middlesex now a situation where they thought they were probably going to have the ball right at about midfield or even in Fitchburg territory. As we mentioned, O'Laughlin set up inside of Fitchburg territory at the 43-yard line to receive the kick, but it went over his head. Much better kick than they had imagined. And it rolled all the way down to the 24, and that's where North Middlesex will take over with only 28 seconds left in the third quarter. This time the handoff is taken by Auburn, I believe, out to the 30-yard line. A gain of 6.
Yeah, that was a nice run. They faked the ball to Dawson. They handed it off to Auburn. Auburn came across. He picked himself up about 5 or 6 yards. So that was good. They seemed to be keying on Dawson in that first play because of his power running. And Ruggles had a nice handoff and an excellent fake.
So now it's 2nd down and 4. And that is going to be the end of the third quarter. So another scoreless quarter here. And after 3 quarters of play from the WPI field here on the campus of Worcester Polytechnic Institute, the score in this Division I Central Mass Super Bowl, it's North Middlesex 7 and Fitchburg 7. And what do you think we have coming up for us here in the fourth quarter? It's been very even so far, Bob.
Yes, it's been an even game, at least especially in the second half. And what I look for in the second quarter, I look for Fitchburg to air it out more. And I look for North Middlesex really to do some fancy running on the outside and faking more so to Matt Dawson. He has a bad wrist. They may be trying to get Jesse Auburn, a little more speed with him and O'Laughlin on the outside. And I think with the Fitchburg pursuit on Ruggles. I think this would be the key, is to the fake instead of Ruggles keeping it and so forth, because they seem to have 2 men on him all the time, Scott.
Yeah, you're right, Bob. Apparently Fitchburg came into this game with the idea to stop Scott Ruggles, and they have really done so thus far. He did have that one long play, which is probably the key play of the game so far for North Middlesex, that long run that set up their first touchdown. But short of that, Scott Ruggles has been fairly quiet.
Absolutely, and of course, Scott Ruggles has done the job all year long. Of course, it takes the whole team to do the job, but Scott is the leader on the field. So I think this is where your leadership comes into play in this quarter.
Well, we now have 11 minutes to go to decide the Division I Central Massachusetts champion. North Middlesex entered this game with a record of 10-0. Fitchburg was 7-3, and right now these two teams are tied at 7. Closeness of this game made a little bit more interesting by the fact that in their previous meeting this season, North Middlesex won 35-7. They have the ball now, 2nd down and 4 from their own 30 in the first play of the fourth quarter. This time the ball is taken by Auburn, and he is stopped after a gain of a yard. It'll bring up 3rd down and 3 once again. Fitchburg really pursuing that inside running track very well.
Yeah, you look at the Fitchburg defense, they're going with the flow. They're going with the motion. Again, on this backside over here, they only have one person out there. I think they got to hit them with a counter or a reverse, maybe to open them up. But the whole game, North Middlesex hasn't done that, Scott. So consequently, Fitchburg is going to take what they're given, and they're taking it. They're going right at the runner or the interference, and consequently, they're keying on people.
You're correct, Bob. As usual, North Middlesex, very conservative play calling here in this game. We'll see what they do on this play. It is the pitch out. It's O'Laughlin, and they have a beat on him, and he's brought down at the 32-yard line once again. Excellent pursuit that time by the Red Raiders. And it'll bring up 4th down and 2, and North Middlesex will probably be forced to punt.
Yeah, that was a good defensive series for Fitchburg again. They spread them out, and they went with the pitch man. They kept 2 guys, a pitch man and 1 on a quarterback. And again, it just hemmed them in there. They only picked up a couple yards.
Ruggles will now punt with 9:47 to go. He gets it away. It's going to be fielded back at the 35-yard line by Fitchburg, and there's some room for a return, and it's taken back out across the 45 to the 46-yard line. So that's where Fitchburg will start off in very good field position. 1st down and 10 at their own 46-yard line with 9:29 to go here in this football game.
Yeah, Yardborough caught that ball. He was a little indecisive. He wanted to go to the right, and he didn't. He stayed in the middle, and it looks like a North Middlesex player is hurt down the field, but the coverage was good on that for North Middlesex. Now they've got to stock them. This is a key series for North Middlesex. Jesse Albin is hurt on the field right now, but he put the meat to him that time.
Well, we saw earlier in the game, Jesse Auburn had been on the sideline being attended to, so he has some type of nagging injury that's been bothering him all day, and he re-aggravated apparently on that punt play. So now Fitchburg has the ball at their own 45-yard line, thereabouts, with 9:29 to go here in this football game. And now it comes down to crunch time, because both teams are only going to have the ball once or twice more each in this football game.
Absolutely, and I think it's going to be it could probably decided by a field goal. We have 2 excellent field goal kickers here, and it could possibly be that, or possibly into overtime, Scott. But, something I didn't mention at the top of the game, North Middlesex power runner Matt Dawson had broke his wrist on Thanksgiving. He is not the same Matt Dawson that's out there now. I'm not taking anything away from Fitchburg. They played a great game defensively, but that's an added dimension that's been lost by North Middlesex 3 quarters. You could see it. He can't handle the ball. His legs are moving, but he is favoring that wrist. And let's just see what happens the rest of the game.
Well, that's an excellent point, Bob, because now you have Dawson and Auburn, who both apparently have some type of injury, and that's 2/3 of their starting backfield. So that's definitely got to take its toll. And now Fitchburg sets up in the I formation. 1st down and 10 from the 45-yard line, their own 45-yard line. Stefanetti's pitch back to the right side. The ball is taken across the 45 out to the 47-yard line. Good pursuit that time by North Middlesex.
Yeah, that was a great stop there by Mike Piper. He had that outside duty, and it looked like the pitch man was going to pick up a lot of yards, but Piper came right across there, and he cut him down.
Now it's 2nd down and 8. With 9:04 to go here in this football game. 9:04 and counting. The split backfield now for Fitchburg. And the handoff is taken across midfield by Graham. He's still on his feet inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. The fullback for Fitchburg High School, Greg Graham. He's a senior, 5'11", 200 pounds, and he was very effective on that play.
Yes, and it's a good thing Jeff Whalen came across. He would have picked up more yardage, number 82. That was a good call in between the tackle and the guard. So it was a quick opener. They came out. They weren't expecting it. They weren't set, and consequently to pick up their first down on the North Middlesex 34-yard line. 38, sorry.
Now it's 1st and 10 at the North Middlesex 38. Fitchburg with an opportunity. The handoff is taken up the middle across the 35-yard line, down to the 31-yard line, a gain of 7. Fitchburg is running the ball very well all of a sudden.
Carry to the 31-yard.
Now, that was a good carry. You see the way he carried, number 24 carried his blocker. He had the back of his jersey, and he carried him right across. He picked up an extra 5 or 6 yards on that. It was a good offensive play.
We believe number 24 is Laura Yarborough, the freshman tailback, who is down at our program as number 32, but we believe that is incorrect. Yarborough, the younger brother of Clarence Yarborough, they're both very effective. Now it's 2nd down and 4. The clock continues to tick. We're down to 7:45 to go here. And there's movement. One of the tight ends moved for Fitchburg, and they had two men moving on the same play, and that's an illegal procedure penalty, and that helps North Middlesex because that negates really the 6-yard gain on 1st down.
You're right. Now Fitchburg's going to have to come out and probably change that play because they probably had a short yardage play. Now it's 2nd down. They're going to have to probably do something else.
2nd and 9 from the 36-yard line.
Puts them back to the 36-yard line, 2nd and 9.
I think you look Fitchburg to, my own opinion is probably look for Graham to carry it off a tackle on a quick hitter.
We'll have to see. Graham is the fullback. He's in there in the game now. Set up just to the right side fullback. Stefanetti signaling to his wide receivers. He's going back to pass. He's looking downfield. The pass is going to be incomplete. He had a receiver open. It was Yarborough at the 22-yard line. He threw it a little high. Yarborough had a shot at it, but he extended himself, and it went through his hands. And it'll bring up 3rd down and long.
Yeah, O'Laughlin was there, but again, Yarborough has the height on him. He can jump up. He should be able to grab that ball. In fact, it was within reach. It should have been a catch, but it was a good call. It got North Middlesex off guard. But technically, the coverage was there.
Now it's 3rd down and 9. The only real effective pass Fitchburg has thrown in this game was the 83-yard touchdown. Other than that, North Middlesex's secondary has played well. 3rd and 9 from just outside the 35. Tight end in motion for the Raiders. Quarterback rolling out to the right side, looking downfield. He has a receiver open inside the 20-yard line, down to the 19-yard line, and 1st down.
And number 2, on that first one, the touchdown went over on that side before against North Middlesex on Jeff Whalen. And again, Jeff was playing off him too much, and the pass was right there. Jeff has to be a little closer. Now, that doesn't mean Jeff's not doing a good job. It's just that he respects the running and the speed. Again, they caught him flat-footed, and that's what they live by, is that long pass.
Well, now it's 1st down and 10 for the 19 of North Middlesex. A sense of urgency on behalf of North Middlesex fans. There's only 7 minutes to go, and Fitchburg is close to a score, but North Middlesex has turned away the Red Raiders inside their 20 3 times in this game, and this time the running back is hit from behind and dragged down at the 20-yard line. That was Mike Piper on the tackle to bring up 2nd down and 11.
Yeah, Mike did a nice job in that. He got him from the backside. Looked as though Graham was going to go. Piper caught him, and there was no gain on it, so it was a good defensive play.
2nd down and more than 10 for Fitchburg. 6 minutes and 28 seconds left here to go. In the football game, we still have a tie game. No scoring so far in the 2nd half. And here come the Red Raiders out of the I formation. Tight end now moves back off the line. In motion. Play action pass rolling out to the left side. Stefanidis looking downfield. He's going to try to run it himself, and he is upended at the 15-yard line. Scott Ruggles got a helmet down into his thigh area and really forced Stefanidis into the air. Stefanidis was still able to gain 4 yards on the carry, but it was a nice hit.
was a nice hit, and of course he was being pursued very strongly from that backside, so he had to take that ball up. Scott Ruggles did a nice job. He come up, he took his feet out from under him, and again, look for that type of play, some type of option play in the next one. They've got to get a first down in this.
Well, now Fitchburg is faced with a third down situation again. It'll be interesting to see if they don't get the first down here, whether they try for a third field goal. I would tend to doubt it, but we'll have to see.
Well, again, they're inside there. I think if they do get stopped, they would go for a field goal. That's my opinion, but he's still a good kicker. But let's see what happens.
Well, we got the third down play now, 3rd down and 5. From the 14 of the North Middlesex Patriots. Stephanides to throw, looks to the middle of the field, complete inside the 5, touchdown Fitchburg. A tremendous pass pattern that time. Stephanides hit Clarence Yarborough cutting to the middle of the field. Yarborough missed a couple of people, or escaped a couple of tackles, and fell into the end zone for the touchdown. A very impressively executed play.
Again, it came off that side I was talking about. They're respecting too much. They're playing off him on that side, so it's a tough job to cover him, but you got to have double coverage on him. You can't have single coverage.
And now it's 14-7 in favor, or 13-7 in favor of Fitchburg. They're trying to make it 14-7. We only have 5 minutes to go. On to attempt the kick once again is DeVito. And his kick is up, and his kick is going to be good. Anthony DeVito kicks the extra point. So now, Bob, with 5 minutes to go in here in this football game, North Middlesex is looking at a come-from-behind situation to win their 3rd straight Super Bowl title and keep their undefeated season alive.
Yeah, it's only 5 minutes left, but you know North Middlesex has got a good club. If anyone can do it, they can do it. But let's not take anything away from Fitchburg. Fitchburg's done a nice job defensively. They shut them down in the option. They really haven't passed and so forth. So North Middlesex really have to reach into the big bag of tricks and get up in that field and score quick. Now, if they score, then they should go for the single point and go into overtime. But let's get the score first before we figure that one out.
Well, many decisions will have to be made, but you're correct, Bob. They need to score first. Right now they trail 14-7 with 5 minutes to go.
Fitchburg's going to keep this ball low. They don't want a chance to run back. So they're going to come down hard and really plant them. This is a key series when North Middlesex gets the ball at. It's a key one. They want to get it someplace in the 30 or 35-yard line.
Back deep. North Middlesex has one man back deep at the 10-yard line. DeVito kicking off. It's a line drive kick, fielded and dropped by Wollicott. Now Wollicott picks it up at the 14. Takes it back across the 18-yard line, and he is going to be knocked down at the 18-yard line. And that kickoff was absolutely a bullet. I don't think Adam Wollicott saw it coming.
Yeah, Adam's usually a pretty good runner back there. He didn't see it coming. He took his eyes off it for a minute instead of staying with it. But, hey, that's the young kids out there, the high school kids. It was a good kick. It's coming back on the 19-yard line. North Middlesexers really have to come. And I think you're going to have to watch out for a good option pass here with Wollicott on a run and to get it behind a secondary. That's what I would start looking for this half, but let's see what transpires.
North Middlesex has 4 minutes and 56 seconds to go 81 yards. Ruggles sets up with his 3 running backs behind him. The pitch is taken around across the 20 to the 25, out to the 26-yard line, still on his feet, powering for more yardage is Jeff Whalen, and he got out to the 28-yard line. A very determined run that time by Jeff Whalen brings up 2nd down and short.
Yeah, Jeff Whalen's out there. He's a real powerful runner. He needed that. They picked up 8 or 9 yards for it. That's the way to keep going. They got to come down. Jeff doesn't want to get burnt out there in those passes. He wants to make a little amends for it, I think.
They're going to say the Whalen was out of bounds at the 27-yard line, so that'll bring up a 2nd down. And about 2.5 yards to go for the first down. The clock continues to tick as he didn't get out of bounds apparently. The clock continues to tick down to 4 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. North Middlesex can't waste any time. They don't have any wide receivers. They have all the men on the line except for the running backs. The handoff is taken out to the 29-yard line. Very close to the first down.
Yeah, it looks like he made the first down, and the referee's foot in this side here. I think they got it if they mark it where the referee on this side puts it down. If you look at that marker, I think they have it by about a football.
Well, they're going to measure. Dawson was the man on that carry that picked up about 2 yards, and as you mentioned before, his left hand is heavily taped because of that broken wrist. He has that tape obviously over the cast, but there's a lot of extra baggage on the left hand of Matt Dawson. Big measurement here. 3:51 to go. North Middlesex will have the first down, and that's important because now they don't have to waste a play getting the first down. They could just look at it with another 4-down situation because we're down to 3:51 to go in the game.
Sure, a play would have been wasted, but most importantly, the time of the clock would have been ticking off 10 or 15 seconds. So it's important in this first play that they pick up a good yardage, possibly a first down or a little more than that, because they're on their own 39-yard line, and you like to see them beyond the 50 at this point.
First down and 10 for the Patriots. They have the ball at their own 29, or just shy of the 30. Now set up one back off split end. And Ruggles is going to throw, and he's got a receiver open in midfield. He's inside the 40, inside the 30, down to the 20, the 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Patriots!
You could see that coming the whole game. The secondary is really playing up tight. And I kept saying to you, watch for that, watch for it. And that's exactly what happened. The receiver came out of there. They only had one defender in the backfield, and trust me, he couldn't do anything about it. That was a great, great play.
It looked as though the lone defender may have fell down just a tad, and was that number 43, Bill Keefe, who made the touchdown reception. The defender slipped on the artificial turf. He had one-on-one coverage to begin with, and when Keefe caught the ball at the 40-yard line, he ran very determined. He had one person who could catch him, but Keefe turned on the overdrives and powered his way into the end zone, and now, Bob, you go for 1 or 2.
Well, Bill Keefe told me yesterday that they're going to try to get by the secondary. They had a couple pass plays out there, and obviously he is right. Bill was right. North Middlesex, they can pass. They didn't expect them to. It was a good job. Offensive did well.
The Patriots will go for the extra point.
Timeout, North Middlesex.
And North Middlesex calls a timeout as Scott Ruggles seems to be still feeling the after effects of something as he went down to receive the snap that time, and he kind of went down to one knee, and they thought it better to wait and make sure that everything was all set on that play. So now, Bob, it appears that they're going for 1, and that'll set up a very interesting final 3.5 minutes. We would have a tie ball game if Lavery hits this extra point.
Yeah, and Lavery is very erratic. Although he set a school record and he's got a lot of points, Lavery can kick the ball very erratically. So we're going to see what happens. He's a good kicker. He has something like, 16, 18 straight. But again, you don't know what type of pressure he faces down there. Fitchburg's going to put a lot of pressure on him. So this is not a gimme. I want you to know that.
The suggestion is still to go for 1 and not 2 in this situation?
Yes, I would go for 1. Why go for 2? You got the overtime rule in it. And I definitely would go for 1 point. And I doubt if Ruggles would go for 2. But then again, hey, anything can happen. But Mr. Conservative is over this side of the field.
Well, it appears from the formation that Coach Ruggles agrees with you, because Lavery is lining up for the extra point. Scott Ruggles is to hold. It's a good snap. The kick is up, and the kick is going to be good, and we have a tie football game with 3 minutes and 22 seconds left to go. Casey Lavery's extra point has tied this game at 14.
Good old KC. He had a little trouble the first of the year, but I'll tell you, he's really come along during the season. He's really a fine kicker. He got a lot of follow-through, and I was talking to his brother yesterday, Bobby, and Bobby said he's really got his head into the game now.
Of course, Rob Lavery, former quarterback for this same North Middlesex high school team, and he was very effective in his seasons as a starter. And now North Middlesex will be kicking the ball off with 3 minutes and 22 seconds left. We have a 14-14 ball game. Fitchburg took a 14-7 lead on a 14-yard touchdown pass from their quarterback, Todd Stephanides, to the senior captain wideout Clarence Yarborough. But the Patriots, to their credit, were able to come right back in a very precious situation. They scored in just over a minute and a half. And now North Middlesex is kicking off. And the ball is going to be fielded by Lawrence Yarborough. He drops it and rolling into the end zone. And he is going to take it out of the end zone. He's across the 5, and he is going to be pushed out of bounds at the 8-yard line.
Yeah, it appeared to be a face mask down there, but actually he hit him on the top of the helmet from this angle. But the running back did a good job. He got it out of there, didn't get himself tracked, so it was a good kick because they were waiting for that short kick. He's been short kicking in every game. In this game, he decided to go to the corner of that side with an inexperienced receiver back there.
It was a very good kick that time. And now Fitchburg, in what would be their winning touchdown drive if they could put it together with 3:13 to go. If they are to do that, then they have to start way back at their own 8-yard line. And for North Middlesex, they're thinking if they can stop them, they're going to get excellent field position. Split backfield for the Red Raiders at the 9. The handoff is taken out across the 10 to the 12-yard line. It'll be a gain of 3. It'll bring up 2nd down and long.
Now, I think Fitchburg's got two concerns here. The first concern is to get out of their end. The second concern is not to fumble the ball. So what do you go? Do you play conservative, or do you try to give it up with a pass? It's a tough call to go here. Fitchburg's done a nice job most of the game. I don't know what they would do, but I'm sure there's going to be a pass sandwiched around something here.
Well, the 2 touchdowns have both come on passes. They do have the wide receiver set up. Rolling out to the right side. Now the pitch back from Stefanidis and hemmed in back at the 10-yard line. Is the option running back, and the North Middlesex Patriots bring him down. And that looks like it was Matt Auburn in there. Dave Brazzaboni was in there, and also David Wollicott was in there.
I'll tell you, the big 3, that's your bread and butter players. They were right over there. Razzie, the boomer they call him. And I'm just telling you, they did an awesome job over there. This puts a lot of pressure on Fitchburg. Are they going to give the ball up here with a pass? Again, I'm not going to second guess, but they're going to have to come out of there, and they're not going to get out of there with the run.
Well, you would tend to think, Bob, that they have to try to get the first down here. If they were out at midfield or even at the 40-yard line facing a 3rd and very long situation, they may run the ball, kick the ball away, and look for overtime. But right now, if they are to kick the ball away, then unless you have a situation where we did earlier in the half where the ball bounces on the turf and rolls 30 yards, and it's unlikely North Middlesex would allow that to happen again. If they are forced to punt here from their own goal line, North Middlesex is going to get good field position with about 2 minutes to go in the game. So you got to figure that Fitchburg wants to get the first down here in this situation. They don't have the option of just saying, well, we'll go for overtime.
Well, you're right, and I think what Fitchburg you got to look for in this particular call is a slant in. They need the first down, so they're going to go for 8 or 10 yards. They're not going to go for a long bomb. They'll get burnt, and they still have to punt it anyhow. So I would look for the Yarborough to come off that right side and maybe slant over 10 or 12 yards out, because that's their bread and butter play.
3rd down and 11 for the Fitchburg Raiders. We have 2 minutes and 11 seconds remaining here in this football game. The North Middlesex fans are on their feet, and the Fitchburg fans are on their feet. We have a tie football game, 14-14. North Middlesex is 10-0, Fitchburg is 7-3, and this is for the Division I Central Massachusetts Super Bowl title. These teams have met 4 years in a row. North Middlesex has won the last 2. They're going for 3-0. Fitchburg won the first time they met in 91. They have 2 wide receivers in the I formation backfield. Stefanidis, the quarterback, calling out the signal. North Middlesex with a lot of men on the line. Stefanidis to throw. He has some time. He's looking sideline. The pass is going to be intercepted.
It was intercepted down there. Now this time you can fool him once, but he did a great job. And who I'm talking about is number 82, Jeff Whalen. You couldn't ask for any more. He stayed right with him. He was behind him. So Jeff Whalen didn't get burned that 3rd time. He did an awful good job. He's been playing great football all year, and that's a sign of a good person to get snake bitten and come right back.
Whalen stayed with the intended receiver, Yarborough. They both went up for the ball at the 50-yard line, and Jeff Whalen just flat out outleaped the wide receiver, and now the Patriots. Of course, this acts very similar to a punt situation, but the Patriots have the ball in midfield with 2 minutes and 1 second to go. And, Bob, I would tend to think that the Patriots are not thinking overtime right now.
I would hope they're not thinking overtime, but first they're going to get those couple first downs.
Ruggles rolling out, looking end zone, and he is tackled well behind the line of scrimmage back at the 40-yard line. He was looking deep on that pass part, and it wasn't a slant route. He was looking well downfield.
Marble.
And the player downfield once again for North Middlesex was Keefe, but he was tackled for a loss of 10. It'll be 2nd down and 20.
But you see something Fitchburg hasn't done most of the game. They kept 2-3 men back there, and they did apply pressure. Marbles came right in there. He did a great job. I would run a counter, or I'd come off the spread here. They get 3 men back deep now. I think this with the option can hurt them.
Now it's 2nd down and 20 for the Patriots as they move back to their own 40-yard line. The handoff goes to Dawson, and he's ahead to the 44-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4, and now it's 3rd down and 16.
Again, looking at that secondary back there from Fitchburg, they're dropping back a little more. Dawson picked up just a couple yards. This is going to be an important down because North Middlesex don't want to. Now, going in the game is Matt Lawler. Matt Lawler is a tremendous receiver, so we haven't seen him the whole game, so this is going to be interesting.
Another interesting point of this is North Middlesex is making no attempt to stop the clock.
They don't have to. You can get something into overtime.
So now on 3rd down and 17, it may be overtime indeed, unless a big play comes here. Ruggles has the ball, and he pitches it back at the last second of the 45-yard line. Out to midfield at the 50-yard line is O'Laughlin. The clock is continuing to roll down at 30 seconds to go. Will there be a timeout on behalf of Fitchburg?
Gain of 7 on the play.
Or will there be timeout on behalf of North Middlesex?
And 10.
Pittsburgh calls a timeout with 24 seconds to go. It's 4th down and 10. So now does Fitchburg try to block the punt? Or does North Middlesex, I would assume North Middlesex would try to just get the ball away.
Well, what I would do if I was North Middlesex, I wouldn't punt. The ball gets back to Ruggles anyways. I'd race around a little, maybe throw a pass, eat up the time, but I wouldn't get a chance of it being blocked. But again, the second guessing the coach, maybe he will punt to keep it down there and run the clock out.
There's 24 seconds remaining in the regulation of this football game. We're tied at 14, North Middlesex Regional High School and Fitchburg High School. North Middlesex took a 7-0 lead in the second quarter on a 1-yard touchdown run by Scott Ruggles. Fitchburg came back on an 83-yard touchdown pass from their quarterback Todd Stephanides to wide receiver Clarence Yarborough with 2 minutes to go in the first half. We had a scoreless third quarter. Fitchburg took the lead with a 14-yard touchdown pass from Stephanides to Yarborough. With the 5 minutes to go here in this football game, North Middlesex came right back, and 90 seconds later, Scott Ruggles hit number 43, Bill Keefe, with a long touchdown pass. The extra point by Lavery tied this game. Ruggles is setting up in a punt formation.
Yeah, and there's nobody back deep for Fitchburg. Now they're going back deep. They should. They don't want to get trapped back there.
And it is a fake. It's going to be a fake. And it is going to be taken along the right side by Jesse Auburn. He's inside the 20, and he is going to be in. Touchdown, North Middlesex. Wow. Jesse Auburn on the fake punt. Took it around the right sideline. He stayed in bounds and has scored a touchdown with 11 seconds to go in this football game. A tremendous play call by the normally conservative Sandy Ruggles, and North Middlesex has the lead.
And that call looked like it was called by one of the coaches, their great Mormon staff. He was a great All-American out of Utah, and he was in talking to him before, and they called that play. They said to call a timeout if they only picked up 20 yards. That was a good call, caught him flat-footed, and hey, they still have 11 seconds on the clock, so anything can happen.
A phenomenal play, and I'm sure that the North Middlesex family and friends will be watching that play over and over again when this game airs on Continental Cable, Bob.
Yeah, it'll be on the cable, and also for my son down in Atlanta, Georgia. You missed a tough one again this year. Yeah, 2 Mormons, he called that play.
Scott Susan, Bob Goudreau here with Cablevision. And now the choice is whether to go for 1 or go for 2. They lead 20-14 with 11 seconds to go.
You can't take anything away from Fitchburg. They've played a heck of a game today, and it's a credit. At least we came in here. We see 2 great teams playing, and hey, why not give them both credit, Coach Consander and their staff. They've done a great job.
The extra point attempt by Casey Lavery. It's good. The North Middlesex Regional High School football team has a 21-14 lead with 11 seconds remaining in the game on a 50-yard touchdown run by number 20, Jesse Auburn, on a fake punt with 20 seconds left to go in the game. And we talked all game how Sandy Ruggles was calling a conservative play but could come up with the trick play, and you don't get much trickier than that.
My God, no. Who would have suspected that play to be called? It was really a very good play. North Middlesex obviously didn't want to go into overtime. They took their chances at midfield, and Auburn, who has been hurt a lot of the games, been in and out of there, as you called it earlier, Scott. But gee, wacko, he got away from that defender, and he was gone. He picked up some speed, and nobody could catch him.
And if North Middlesex can finish this game with a victory, they have 11 more seconds, then that is one of those plays that will really go down in the history of this football program and in this high school. An incredible touchdown run by Jesse Auburn, an incredible play call, but also an incredible touchdown run by Auburn to stay along the right sideline. And Fitchburg had no idea who had the ball until very late. The ball is on the ground. It was kicked by Fitchburg. And Fitchburg is going to get good field position out of this because the ball was kicked forward. It went off the foot of a Fitchburg Red Raider. It was fielded at the 47-yard line, so now they have 8 seconds to go.
And you know, anything can happen. Fitchburg is a great passing club. They got some great speed, so they can get a couple plays off with 8 seconds. So North Middlesex is not out of the woods yet.
North Middlesex has to stop the Red Raiders, or stop the Raiders once, perhaps twice more.
That's when I would have put a long kick in there to eat some seconds off the clock. But I think what he was trying to do, put it beyond that defender, and I think inadvertently to hit his leg, and it stopped right there, and he was fortunate enough to get it.
It's a nice play by that special teams person to keep the ball so close. Two wideouts set up on the right side. Yarbrough's been the favorite target for Stefanetti's in this football game. Back to pass, looking downfield. North Middlesex putting pressure on. Stefanetti's looking to throw, fires, and the pass is going to be intercepted, incomplete. And that's the end of the game. And the North Middlesex Patriots have won.
No time on the clock.
A tremendous victory for the North Middlesex Patriots. They are once again, for the third consecutive year, the Division I Central Massachusetts Super Bowl champions. They fell behind in this game 14-7 with 5 minutes to go, but came back and scored 2 touchdowns in the final 5 minutes, including the game-winning touchdown on a 50-yard run by Jesse Auburn on a fake punt with 11 seconds left in the game, and they win it 21-14. A great football game, Bob.
Absolutely. Fitchburg and North Middlesex showed what two great teams are in central Massachusetts. It really was a toss-up. You have to give both teams credit. They did an excellent job out there, and you got to give the credit to the North Middlesex team. I mean, they were taken out from their feet in the first half. They came back. They only had 3.5 minutes to go. They came back. They went down and scored. Scott, you got to give them a lot of credit. The kids do a great job, and there's a team and a coaching staff. Hey, you can't take